Hello, hello, everybody. We have returned to Mad Lads Live, the new Nugget Mafia. How's everybody doing tonight? Wanted to apologize for my absence yesterday. I had to take a day off. Unfortunately, I had a well, I've actually had one for about a week now, but I had like an ulcer in the back of my throat, and it started like mid last week, like around the time. Actually, it started with 2 days before payday when I did the first episode of the podcast, and I just powered through it, but it wasn't getting better. And so I needed to take a couple of days to like rest my throat because what is it? Talking for 5 hours a night, 6 days a week between five days of streaming and then one day of DMing and D&D was not allowing it to get better. So I had to take a couple of days, unfortunately. But we're back now. My throat's still a little, but as long as I don't raise my voice too much and I'll just kind of be talking a little bit lower today, we should be okay. We should be okay. Uh, so on the upside, the ulcer is basically gone. They usually are around for between 1 to 2 weeks. It's been about a week and a half, so it's fine. It's fine. But no, I just won't be yelling as much like I usually do, or like getting jumping on it and all that stuff. But hey, everybody, how's everyone's weekend? How was everyone's weekend? I hope it was good. I hope it was good. I hope I didn't miss anything from not watching the previous episode yet. No, you didn't. You didn't really miss much. The last episode and basically the next couple of episodes in this series right now are largely just economics. It's me answering questions about lore and getting the economics flowing. We got to get to 1,000,000 cats. Um, and then once we get to 1,000,000, I think at that point we'll call the playthrough. And I think that'll be the end of the Nugget Mafia. We'll have achieved our goal on this playthrough as 1,000,000 cats via economics. Um, so that's the end goal here is 1,000,000 cats via economics. But other than that, we're probably just answering questions, hanging out, doing stuff. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna be doing some what is it? Some runs this evening to go get more stuff. Sell some more stuff. I'm gonna grab some of the hashish that I have in some of these benches, and we're gonna actually. Can I raise the mic a little bit closer? There we go. Adjust my seating a little bit. There we go. So that should allow me to talk a little bit quieter and not have that going on. So, like I said, I plan on answering questions and all that stuff, but I just got to talk a little bit lower. But I wasn't gonna bail out on you guys for a second night in a row. As it stands, I had to miss out on yesterday, and I really don't like to stream less than 4 days a week if I can help it. So I'll power through. Granted, powering through is partly what got me in the situation in the first place. But no problem whatsoever. So as long as you guys are cool with me talking a little bit lower and a little bit more like monotone, everything should be fine. I'm new to Kenshi. Your game looks so much better than mine. Is there any important mods or something? No. So my game looks the way that it does is a byproduct of in-game settings, which if your PC can handle it, you can happily, go through, pause. I'll kind of shift through real fast. You can pause and see what they look like. In-game settings, and then my own custom reshade that I have linked in the description below. Those are the only two things I use in terms of graphical overhauls. Um, the reshade is linked below. It's called the Mad Lads reshade. So, it is available for public download and all of that. Excuse me. And yeah, that should make your game look nice. My God, dude, I'm getting so many spam calls tonight. Really pissing me off. All right, so we're gonna load up on the hashish because we're gonna take the hashish and we're actually gonna go to Flats Lagoon. We're gonna make a Flats Lagoon run this evening. Glad to help. Happy to help. Yeah, so we're gonna make a Flats Lagoon run this evening. We're gonna keep selling food here, but we're also going to be selling our hashish and stuff there. And I think the best way to do that is to make a trip to Flats Lagoon with Don, Ruka, and Kenji. That way we can up our profits a little bit more. Hey, Prince, how you doing? You know what? We're actually gonna take some of these food cubes out too. I'm gonna sell some of these at Flats Lagoon as well. Do the full run over there, and then I'm actually gonna have um we're in competition for the number 3 commentator. It's a battle. It's a battle. I hope you're taking medication for your health. I mean, it's just what is it? It's just holy shit, dude! I've gotten like 5 spam calls in the last couple of minutes. Jesus Christ. Um, it's just a an ulcer on the back of my throat. I mean, it is what it is. They show up, 1-2 weeks and they go away. I've been gargling salt water and mouthwash and stuff. I mean, I brush my teeth and do mouthwash every day anyway, but I've been gargling salt water and stuff too. That's been helping it quite a bit. It's just one of those kind of things where you have to let it pass. It takes about a week and it goes away. Is what it does. Not the big deal. All right, so we're gonna have this team head out while we're doing some sales, and we're gonna make our way over towards Flats Lagoon. Like I said, it's gonna be a bit of a lighter night. I'm not gonna be doing anything crazy, mostly economics and stuff. So. I've never played Kenshi, but I like this guy's attitude. Well, if you have any questions about the Lord JP, do feel free to ask. Do feel free to ask. I'll try my best to answer. There are some things that I admittedly don't know, and there's some things that are, heavily conjecture. A lot of it's heavily conjecture, but I will try my best to answer what I can and help out where I can and speculate where I can. Oh, man. What a day. What a day. Also, episode 2 of I'm going to bring this up a few times over the course of the stream because usually, we have, 13 people in here right now, but by the end of the stream, we'll usually have, between 1 and 200 people on average. But Wednesday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time is episode 2 of the Tengu's Vault podcast, the Kenshi-centric podcast run by myself and Pedastrophia. So that is on Wednesday. It's on the Tengu's Vault channel. The first episode was on my channel. The second episode is going to be on the actual Tengu's Vault channel. So just hang tight for that. Do head on over, hit the notification icon so that way you guys get notified. We're expecting a smaller turnout for the first couple of episodes since it's a brand new channel and we're still building an audience over there. But it's yeah, it's off to a pretty good start. We haven't even done the first full episode on that shit. Like the first episode on that channel, we're already almost at 100 subs on it, which is really cool. Very, very cool stuff. So we're gonna take a nice little sprint on down to Flats Lagoon. Sell off some drugs. Which one? There we go. Can you ride that mech? I wish. Unfortunately, no. He is classified as an animal in the game files for the purposes of how he was coded in by Hapless, but no, he's not mountable, unfortunately. It'd be hell of a cool if he was, though. I'd like to sit on his shoulder and just sit up there with an eagle's cross. If Kenshi had Gundams, I'd buy a 12-year-old laptop and play it. Fair, fair. Hey, since you're trying to end this to get to the Star Wars one, do you mind if I trade out my Bone Dog idea for an officer type person for the Star Wars mod? Woodroom Falcon? Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. I'll absolutely throw him in there. My Star Wars playthrough, I'm gonna try to do a smaller squad. I don't think I'm gonna have like a whole bunch of people, at least not early on. I think for a while I'm gonna run around with a small squad because I've never done Project Cthulhu before, and I think it would be more beneficial to have like a smaller squad and run around with like one Sith and a handful of like clone troopers basically, or shock troopers, and do some bounty hunting and stuff that way. Yes, after the new Nugget Mafia is over, I'm going to be doing a Project Cthulhu playthrough. It'll be the first time I've ever played Project Cthulhu too, so I'm really excited about it. Be my first time ever playing the mod. All right, where are we headed right now? Down towards Gut. Try not to go through Gut. Be fantastic. Star Wars building sounds cool. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what the game looks like what the world looks like. I've seen some people, like other people play it, but I've never played it myself, and I'm excited to see like how it turns out, what it looks like, all of that stuff. Darth Beep is on par with Darth Jar Jar. Yeah, I actually hold on. Let me pull up the thumbnail. So this is for anybody that isn't in the Discord, I actually made the thumbnail for the first episode. And I was really excited about it, so I'm waiting for it. But this is the thumbnail for the Star Wars series for when that drops, and I'm pretty hyped about it. I think it's gonna be really cool. But I put Beep and Revan's under Revan's hood. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun time. So we're gonna make Beep a Sith Lord. I mean, yeah, haven't fully decided if it's going to necessarily be Beep, but I do think that making a hybrid Sith Lord is a fun idea. Um, just because it's a hybrid. Like I feel like if it's going to be a Sith, it's got to be alien. You know, I feel like it makes more sense to have like that alien aesthetic, and I feel like a Sith hybrid would be fire. I'm playing Cthulhu myself, and it's my favorite overhaul mod in Kenshi. I'm really excited about it. I'm actually like beyond excited about it, but I also feel committed to getting this playthrough done before I start another one. Now, in full transparency, because of that, I'm kind of trying to like rush through this without like not finishing it, but like I want to get it done because I want to jump into the next thing because I am really excited about Project Cthulhu. The plan is effectively to have I want to have two Sith, I think in total. I want to have Beep and one other one, and then I'm gonna have a bunch of clone troopers that follow us around. And I think we're gonna do like I don't think I'm gonna like rebuild like build a massive empire. I think instead what we're gonna do is we're gonna be like a kill squad of um like a Sith kill squad basically. And I think we're gonna hunt down the Jedi, wipe out the Jedi. But that's the goal for right now. Oh. Is there a reason the Southern Hive Queen is like a cyborg hiver? I thought that was weird in my playthrough. If you have followed any of my earlier theories regarding the Southern Hive or the Hiver Queens in general, I believe that the Hiver Queens are the same queens that were made by the Second Empire at the tail end of the Second Empire as a form of humanity 2.0 by the skeletons. They were trying to create new basically impose the aspects of skeleton aspects onto humanity to make them better because Catlan had become disgusted and disenchanted with humanity, and as a byproduct of that, he was trying to make humans more like skeletons, and they were also meant to be tailor made to deal with all of the problems that the Second Empire was facing at the end of the Empire, and I believe that in conjunction with the fact that the Bugmaster is effectively ageless in the theory because I think the Bugmaster was the geneticist that did it. I think that the uh, practice of creating the Hyver Queens also implemented that same ageless alteration of their DNA where they no longer have the degradation of telomeres, which would have been isolated from the crabs on Kenshi. Um, as crabs, even in real life, don't age as a byproduct of their telomeres not shortening over time. And so in order to basically, I think that the reason why the hive queens are semi-mechanical is because they are the creations of the Second Empire in a weird blended amalgamation where they were trying to turn humans into not turn humans into skeletons, but make them more like skeletons because Catalan had become disgusted and disenchanted with humanity. And in order to do that, they created a weird mixed hybrid of man and machine in the form of the hybrid queens, and then those queens have gone on to propagate their own race of what used to be humans. Hangnails drive me nuts right now. Itchy, itchy, itchy. All right, we are almost Flats Lagoon. Making good time. We are making good time. Who's chasing me? Oh, it's just an outlaw farmer. Hybrid and skeletons are attempting to rebuild themselves with the skeletons attempting to rebuild themselves with limited technology. That and a combination of the fact that like it's both was population issues because Catalan's empire was hemorrhaging population in conjunction with the fact that humanity is just biologically squishy, and I am doing a hashish transport, yes. Humans are biologically squishy, and Kenshi's landscape is ever changing and is incredibly harsh and hard for humanity to deal with. They're not really well suited for the face of Kenshi. There's so many environmental factors that are out to seemingly kill them. And when you take that into consideration with all the issues Catlan was having, with the rebellions, with the Exodus, with famine, with environmental factors, with all of that stuff, and then him becoming increasingly more disenchanted with humanity, he was like, you know what, humans are monsters, and he says as much in dialogue. Humans are monsters. They would be better off if they were a little bit more like us. And so, he basically took humans and he did the same thing he did when he made the Shek or the Enforcers. He altered them, although unlike with the Enforcers where he did so through minor manipulations that caused, a break in the evolutionary chain later down the line as they slowly became their own species, subspecies of human, or new species, a new offshoot of human. The hybrids were done very aggressively, very rapidly, through very intense, unethical, extreme genetic tampering and a combination of genetic tampering and mechanical tampering, implementation of cybernetics and all that stuff. And as a result, you ended up with these malformed, grotesque, easily replicable, easily controllable, amalgamations that would become the hybrids. That are in many ways parallel, organic versions of the skeletons. They have different models for different tasks. They have the same physiological look. They're controlled via a wireless mainframe or a pheromone link. The different models are actually like physically reminiscent to the corresponding type of skeleton that they would have been modeled after. The normal skeleton after the worker drones, the soldier drones are modeled after the soldier bots. The P4 models, which are the ones like Catlan in the game currently, Punk, Eldar, stuff like that. They are all modeled after the princes. And then there was a cut version of a skeleton that I don't know if that never made it past concept. I don't believe that had the lion prongs on its head. You can see it in the concept art on the loading screens. That skeleton would have been Catlan, and it would have been like the king or the emperor, and the queens coincidentally look exactly like that as well. So the hybrids were made to be a mirror image of the skeletons, an organic image of the skeletons. I've heard some people bring up the posit the potential that what if they were trying to make bodies like for themselves to get over the skeleton resets? I personally don't think that's the case. I think that's too advanced for their train of thought. I think the idea was skeletons can't create anything that they don't understand. That's been a pretty consistent theme. They can't create something that they themselves do not understand, because they're effectively generative AI in the way that they process, in the way that they create, in the way that they understand things. And so they can't create something from nothing. They have to have some kind of referential material. So when they were altering humans to be better suited for Kenshi to fix the problems of the Empire, the only thing that they could think to do was to give them traits that are reminiscent of the only thing they understand themselves as skeletons. So they made humans more like skeletons, and thus we got the hybrids. It just works. It just works. Like God Howard said, it just works. Like Christ Hunt himself said. All right, we're gonna end up cutting through the secret drug farm. That's the next stop. We're gonna stop at the secret drug farm, grab even more hashish, and then we're going to head over to Flats Lagoon and sell that off. And for anybody that didn't see either, I dropped a new base building video the other day. Although it does seem like the algorithm has been unfortunately pushing my stuff a little bit less the last few days, which has been kind of obnoxious, but you know, it is what it is. I did drop a new base building video. If anybody has not seen it yet, I built a base in Venge, nice big old skeleton only base in Venge. No, it was a commissioned base, which is the first one the first commissioned base I've ever done. But yeah, so it was a commissioned base. I was pretty happy with how it turned out. Pretty happy. I was nervous with how it turned out because you know, it's my first ever like someone paid me to do it, which was already shocking in and of itself. So I was really nervous about how it turned out, how it was going to turn out, what the reception was going to be. But everyone seems to like it. The one who commissioned it seemed to like it, which is ultimately what matters the most. It was a really cool result with the skeleton base. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Doing a little bit of Kenshi ASMR tonight. The irony. Does Kenshi 2 have leaks? No. No. They're pretty tight-lipped about it. They are pretty tight-lipped about it. And this is coming from someone who like not only do I you know incessantly research Kenshi, do I dig into the lore, do I dig into any leaks or updates that we get, but I also have not regular, but I have conversations a couple of times a year with the folks over at Lo-Fi, and they watch my stuff, and I have email conversations with them, you know, usually at least twice a year. And in all of that time, I've never had anything like dropped, any bombs dropped on me, any news or anything like that. It's always, they're very tight-lipped. They're very tight-lipped. The kicker about it is that not only are they very tight-lipped, but I've actually, any of them at the base, not only are they super tight-lipped, but I've even offered to sign NDAs and stuff, and I still, nothing. I've even gone so far as to offer to sign NDAs, and they're always just like, yeah, well, you know, if it comes up, maybe, you know, in which case, obviously, I wouldn't be able to talk about it, but, you know, the point is that even, like, with those discussions on the table and everything, they're like, yeah, well, you know, maybe. Not right now, but maybe. Obviously, if NDAs were signed, I wouldn't be talking about this now, but, yeah, they're very, very careful about it, but they should be. They should be. You know, it's, they gotta make sure that their stuff stays protected. It'll be worth it in the end. I like the colors. If the guy who ordered the base build the stairs with F12, he gets access to an area with good mining resources from the base and just wallet, if I'm not mistaken, is on the top. Yeah, there's a couple of good spots for like mining resources and whatnot right there. My thought with the iron, I put the iron generators, like the automatic iron mines, outside of the wall, but I figured you could just get up onto the wall and you can just like input it into the inventories of your men so they don't have to run outside. Super easy transport, not a big deal. Fixes a lot of the problems. And then you don't have to worry, you know, even though it's outside the base, you don't ever have to like worry about going to the base to deal with it. Wow, there's a lot of stuff happening here. What are they fighting? Manhunters. Nice. All right. I may be a bit biased, but I think it's one of your best. Thank you, Matt. I'm glad that you liked it. I'm happy that you liked it. Shit out of this land bat. Don's getting messed up over here. Rook is getting messed up over here. Jesus. They're doing what Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 did. They don't want to overhype the game so people are not discouraged even if it's good. Yeah, I mean, I think what they're doing is the smart way to do it. Is it frustrating from the perspective of someone who like wants to play the game? Absolutely, absolutely. But I understand it, and I agree with the methodology. As frustrating as it is, because again, like we all want to play Kenshi too. But outside of my own, selfish desire to play Kenshi too, I have to acknowledge that what they're doing, I think, is the smart way to go about it. I think it is the easiest way to prevent false expectations while also being able to give us a unique experience without spoiling everything ahead of time. Um, I think a lot of companies will reveal too much too early for the sake of generating hype, and then as a byproduct of that, we end up having nothing to like experience or enjoy later on. I think the way that they're doing it is the smart way to do it. With that being said, I do think there are ways that they could advertise the game um, that doesn't betray that aspect that they're not taking full advantage of. But that's conversations that for another day, I suppose. Um, but I do think there are avenues of approach where they could still get that whole let's not reveal anything, but also uh, let's have a good product. There are things they could do. There are things they could do. Jeez, all the hashishes. Go through, pick all these locks. So I think that marketing is an area that lo-fi doesn't put enough thought and effort into, unfortunately. I think that there is, to a degree, it's not a lack of like idea with marketing. I think that they focus on some good aspects of marketing, but they don't put enough attention onto the things that are ultimately going to provide them with the most benefit. Like I don't think they should be like doing like a press tour or anything, but I do think they should put some more emphasis on marketing as a whole. I think that that would be beneficial to them. Yeah, I agree. I wish Kenshi was less underground. I agree. I feel like it's only like a couple of large variety creators, and then like a small handful of creators that are dedicated to it, like myself. But like it's largely one of those games I feel like that like variety streamers or variety channels will pick up, they'll play, um, for a handful of videos, and the videos pop off and do super well, and then they kind of just do other things. It's interesting too because those same people, I've seen it happen time after time after time. They do a variety stream, uh, or they play the game on a variety episode of their for their channel, and it ends up being the most popular video on their channel every single time. I swear, every time. It's always really interesting to me how that happens. And then they come back and they're like, "Oh, Kenshi's like the most popular video on my channel. You guys really want to see more Kenshi?" But be careful what you wish for. I've been run out of a lot of fandoms by it going mainstream. I don't think I'd be too concerned about it going mainstream. To be honest, if it went mainstream, it would be a hell of a lot easier for me to go full time in the long run. Fulfill my goal of doing so, just because I'd have more people here. Um, so I don't think going mainstream is necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Whoa, Don, what the hell are you doing? Hold on, what the hell? Don, have you been hauling hashish to places and dropping it off? I think this dumbass has been putting... He did. You fucking fool. You absolute fucking buffoon. Don, what are you doing? Why have you done this? Why have you done this? I don't know. I think Kenshi's one of those games where like a lot of people own it, but not a lot of people like realize that they own it. Like the number of people I've heard that have said that exact thing, like, "Oh, I didn't even realize that I had Kenshi like on my computer," or "I picked it up, I played it once or twice, and then put it down." Like I think it exists somewhere between mainstream and not. I have seen it recently starting to pop up quite a bit more in some other like in some other non-English speaking countries. Like I've seen it popping up a lot in South America. I've seen it popping up a lot in like Brazil and stuff like that. And I've also seen it popping up an awful lot in Russia. Russia and like Brazil area have been really popping off with the Kenshi content recently. No, it's been I don't know. I would like to see. I think Kenshi would really pop off. I think Kenshi 2 is going to be huge. I think Kenshi 2 is really going to um like change the game in many ways, you know, as it were, both literally and figuratively. Um yeah, Brazilian people really do love Kenshi. I've seen a lot of Brazilian people get really into the game. Yeah, I think Kenshi 2 is really going to change things even more. I think if Kenshi's going to go mainstream, it's going to be Kenshi 2 that does it. You know, Kenshi's still kind of a niche community. It's growing, but it's still kind of niche. I think that Kenshi 2 is going to be what puts Kenshi into the mainstream. Hey, Logic, how are you? We're doing Kenshi ASMR tonight because my voice is still kind of stupid. My throat's still kind of stupid. My voice is actually fine. It's just my throat's stupid. Got an ulcer. Woo. Woo woo. Yeah, I think Kenshi 2 is going to be what really pushes Kenshi into the cultural zeitgeist for gaming, into the mainstream. Them dulcet tones. Kenshi ASMR. Little Tapitio and Paganacho are two historical Kenshi players. They don't make vids in Spanish, but that's true. That's true. That is true. A lot more people know about the game, so if Kenshi 2 hits, it could definitely go mainstream. That, and I think that, you know, Lo-Fi's still solidifying their plans for the year. They haven't quite got their full year all ironed out and everything they're doing this year. But I think that when Kenshi 2 finally does, excuse me, when Kenshi 2 finally does like come out and all that happens, I think that they're going to go on a massive like marketing PR run. I think they're going to start working with a lot of creators. You know, I think they're going to do a lot more marketing than they did with Kenshi 1 even because Kenshi 1 kind of got some of its own marketing. Um, you know, during the early access and all of that stuff. Bro, my player was so far back. I've been waiting for the stream to start for like 5 minutes. Just realized it's been going. Oh yeah, dude, we've been going for like half an hour now. I hope Lo-Fi uses a different engine and optimizes it more. So two things on that. One, they are using a different engine. They're using Unreal 5. Um, they originally were going to use Ogre, and then they decided to use Ogre 2, which was the sequel engine to Ogre engine. And then they opted to use Unreal 4. And then after Unreal 4, they, you know, I think it was like 3 months after they announced they were using Unreal 4, they said, you know what, we're going to use Unreal 5 instead. Because Unreal 5 got announced literally like right after they said I think they put out the announcement and we're like, we're using Unreal 4. And then like 2 months later, or a month or two later, Unreal 5 was released. And then shortly after that, they were like, U5, U5. And they're doing it for the purposes of future proofing. And then as for optimization, a lot of the issue on Kenshi 1 is not to do with optimization. It's that the engine's just super out of date. The engine was out of date out of date and considered like it was considered out of date 5 years after Kenshi 1. I mean, 5 years before Kenshi 1 was even released. So, you know, it's there. But yeah, so they are using a different engine. It is going to be better optimized. I have full faith in them to optimize it better. And aside from that, it's also going to have, you know, a proper lighting engine, a proper physics engine, proper particle effects, all of that stuff. I'm mostly excited more than anything else. I am excited about the prospect of proper particle effects. The idea of having particle effects in Kenshi is huge to me, astronomical, one might say. I am beyond excited about it. I think AI is going to get improved a ton. Um, yeah, no, I think that I think the switch to Unreal is going to be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Gonna work out super well. I'm mostly excited about the particle effects because that opens up a whole new genre of mods that we don't have access to. Like one of the things that I have is my throat better. It's okay. It's getting there. I'm talking a little lower tonight, but um no freaking out and yelling on this guy tonight. No. We're doing Kenshi ASMR. No, I think that the pretense of having proper particle effects and stuff in Kenshi, like in Kenshi's engine, opens up an entire new world of mods. For instance, we look at Project Cthulhu. One of the problems with Project Cthulhu is that they don't have the ability to give proper bloom to the blasters or the lightsabers, so they kind of just look like colored sticks, right? Like there's a degree of like breaking the immersion of like, oh, this is a Star Wars mod because the lightsabers look more like a static line from MS Paint, or like a colored low textured tube. They don't have proper bloom. They don't have proper lighting or anything like that. Unreal 5, you can do that. You can make blaster bolts. You can make lightsabers. You can make particle effects. You can take someone like a couple of years ago, someone made a mod for Kenshi that added in water bending, earth bending, fire bending, all of that stuff, and I thought it was a really fucking cool concept. I used the mod for a while. I liked the earthbending, like it was really cool. But imagine, I liked the firebending. The problem that I had with it is that it was just basically shooting orange balls at people. But imagine if you could actually have the particles get launched. You could mix it with the martial arts move sets, like the animation for the martial arts tree. And when they do a forward punch, an actual fireball comes flying out of your fist like a bolt and flies towards an enemy and hits them. Like the potential with just particle effects is absolutely insane. That's not including things like physics. That's not including things like better lighting. Just the potential of particle effects is insane as it is. Um, Dude, I just found your channel. I've spent the last couple hours running through your reels. Absolutely amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I apologize that I don't have the usual energy and fervor that I do on most of my reels tonight. My throat is currently a little fucked up, so I'm trying to not talk as loud tonight. So I'm talking a little lower. But I'm glad that you're enjoying everything. And if you have any questions, please do let me know. I try to one of my big things as a content creator is that I try to be as interactive with my community as possible. So if you have any questions, please do let me know. Is Project Cthulhu any good? I'm thinking about playing it. I don't know. I've heard many people say they really like it. I have never played it, which is part of the reason that I'm so excited about this next playthrough. Is that I want to play it. I want to play it really bad. All right, so I think we're gonna give Ruka some new fit. I think she needs a new fit. That's what I think, everybody. Ruka needs new fit. And while we're here, I've got to get some unholy armor for what is it? For Rex. Dragon will yell at me if he pops it in. I don't have unholy armor on Rex. Promised him I would. That's okay, hero. I will ant up the fantasy racism to make up for your more mellow stream. Hive soldiers, what's up with those guys? It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. Ooh, excuse me. We gotta give him his unholy armor. And I gotta get some unholy legs for him as well. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, and then Ruka doesn't need any of that stuff because she is there. Hey, welcome, Prince to the Mad Lads. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you want to know why the third panel on the left sleeve of armor is slightly different color than the rest, Hero is your guy. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you. Absolutely helps. Listen, also if your YouTube is connected to your Discord, um, then do hop on to the community members only Discord, the Mad Lab members Discord. We have a good time in there. We chat, hang out. What faction has the highest percentage of Ashlanders? It's either the UC or it's either the Flotsam Ninja has a ton of them. You're talking about Scorchlanders, right? The Flotsam Ninjas has a ton of them. The UC has a ton of them, and the Nomads has an okay number. But it's I think it's mostly the UC and the Flotsam Ninja. I think the Flotsam Ninja wins because they're a smaller faction, primarily comprised of Scorchlanders. Uh, but if I think if you remove the Flotsam Ninja because they are a smaller faction, if you remove them from the equation, then I'm pretty sure it's the UC. Or the Black Dragon Ninja. I think there's a bunch of them on there too, but I don't know what the exact ratio is. Oh my god, 2 in a row. Raven, welcome. Welcome. Thank you much. I sincerely appreciate it. Membership comes with a couple of good things too. Not only do you get access to the community members Discord, which has not just me, but other YouTubers in there as well. Paydystrophia, Frankie was here is in there, Muffin Top MD's in there. But also you guys get a shout out at the beginning of any of my long form videos as well. So welcome. One of us. One of us. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it, everybody. All right, I think Bitwise, she is okay now. She used to have. Oh no, Shrike has the. I think Shrike is wearing this a similar armor, isn't she? She is. Matt, oh my God, guys. Hello, everybody. You may have just joined a call. You may have just joined a call. Thank you, Matt. Much appreciated. 3 in a row, guys. Woo lad. You know what? Actually, I think shit. This is a really good armor set. Shrike's wearing something similar, isn't she? Yeah, she is. Okay. I might end up putting all of my officers in this assassin's vest armor. I think it looks really cool. Rumble John. Do they even have any more here? I think I just bought the only one, and then I'm sitting here contemplating replacing my my officer's armor with it, and then there's only one of them. Yeah, I'm out of it. Okay, that's fine though. We did our drug run. We're sitting at 187,000 cats, so we have about 800,000 cats left to go. So before we meet the goal for the playthrough, which was 1,000,000 cats via economics, specifically from drugs and food. It's not like I'm gonna go get like a CPU or Catlon CPU or anything like that and sell it. The goal is 100,000. The goal is 1,000,000 cats from economics. So. With that being said, I'm actually going to take a moment and pop back over towards Stout and see how they're doing over here. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Is there even anything in here left for them to buy? Okay. Hey, Hero, how's the throat doing? It's doing. I'm a little hoarse. It's not even hoarse. That's not the right word. I have to keep my voice down, otherwise I will agitate my throat. But we're going. It's just an ASMR night, that's all. You guys just get to listen to my dulcet tones, that's all it is. Love the green chat. Literally the entire chat is just absolutely saturated in green. Absolutely saturated in green. Hop on over and see how this one's doing. Not much happening here. And then how's this shop doing? Same deal. So it seems like the capital, the Capital Restaurant does not much business at all. The Traders Guild and Heft Restaurant does a little bit more, but not too much. Stout really seems like the one that gets the most business. This shop in particular seems to get the most business. I'm gonna dismantle this shop counter because I would rather use this one, especially since I'm not putting drugs in there anymore. Smooth sounds for the European audience who has insomnia. Yeah, you guys get to listen to me babble on about uh, lore with my dulcet tones, with the sounds of Smooth Hero. Man, I was gonna dive in my first 2026 playthrough with your preset and a bunch of mods from your collection, and that ASMR stream is just what I needed to go with it. I'm glad. I'm glad. Favorite town? Oh shit, the town that I spend the most time in, unironically, is Squin. I spend a lot of time in Squin. I really like Squin. I like the layout of it. I like the look of it. I spend a disturbing amount of time in Squin in pretty much every playthrough that I do. It's also just a really good starter town. So like by default, I feel like I just end up gravitating and flocking there quite a bit. All right, we're gonna head back over to you guys. We're at 192,000 cats, so we've got 800,000 cats to go in order to meet our goal. Don Tony McChicken becomes an absolute unit. Absolute unit. What are we doing on relations? Faction relations. We are 15 and 10 with the Traders Guild and UC. It's not ideal, but it'll do. I think after Squin, I spend the most amount of time in Stout, Stack, and Mongrel. I think those are probably the four places I spend the most amount of time. Stack is just easily accessible. Mongrel has some good stuff. Have you ever made a base in World's End? Like in the actual like town or like in the World's End mountains? Because in World's End mountains, yes. In the town, no. No, I have not done it in the town. But I have made a base in the World's End mountains. All right, and now we got to go the long way home. We are off. And when we get back, we have some new gear that we're going to give to Rex. In front of the town, outside of the gate, outside of the gates. I have not. I have not. One of the series that I'm thinking about doing, favorite region, Cannibal Plains. I enjoy playing in the Cannibal Plains. I enjoy the landscape of the Cannibal Plains. I enjoy a lot of the lore implications that are in the Cannibal Plains. The roleplay potential that's there. I just think it's a really cool region, fun place to play. It's difficult, but it's not taxing on your PC like the Fog Islands are, or anything like that. I think the Cannibal Plains are really cool. And then after that, probably the Ashlands because let's be honest, the Ashlands are horrifying to go to. The first time I went to the Ashland, there was like this really uncomfortable feeling of like being somewhere you shouldn't be. It was really ominous the first time I went there, because of how big the structures are. Like even compared to Kenshi, where like a lot of stuff is much bigger than you. The first time I went to the Ashlands, I remember I was overcome with a feeling of just pure, like what the hell is this? Like, my God, like it felt uncomfortable. It felt like I was somewhere that I wasn't supposed to be. And that's always been wild to me. So, excuse me. I have a question for you guys. Who are each of your guys' favorite, who's your guys' favorite bounty? Because I know my favorite bounty, and it's one that I don't think anybody ever expects, but he's my favorite bounty for a reason. So who is all of your favorite bounties? Bugmaster is too good. Bugmaster is a really good pick. Is a really good pick. I do fucks with the Bugmaster. Love the build up. Dude, the whole trip to get to the Bugmaster is just a giant build up. Ah, dude, honestly, I wish I could kill one of these fucking things, these drone heavies, and take their armor for Rex. I think that'd be badass, but I don't think I would be able to do that. You know what? Actually, hold on. think Kenshi might be able to take one of them down. Where you at, you bastards? Oh shit, did they just vanish? What the hell just happened? Oh no, they're there. Hands down, my favorite bounty is the Meat Lord. Easily the Meat Lord. No question about it. The first time I went to the first village and fought the Meat Lord, I was not expecting that to go the way that it did. And my dude, in one foul swing, uh, like swung upward and killed one of my guys in one hit. Just absolutely bottomed out his head. And then in a second swing, took off an arm for another one. It was horrifying. Between being swarmed by cannibals and then him literally just blunt force battering the limbs off of my men, I didn't see it coming. And yeah, no, easily I really think the Meat Lord is a fucking cool enemy to fight. Um the bread weebs, yeah, fucking bread weebs. No, Don, you and Ruka stay back out of this. Stay back out of this. Your job is not to fight. Your job is to collect, only to collect. Guy's still up. Oy vey. The fucking bread weebs. I genuinely, the Black Dragon Ninja are like a nuisance to me. They're primarily a nuisance more than anything else. I find them so fucking frustrating to deal with. I don't even like fighting them for the sake of fighting them. I just find them annoying to deal with. Perfect. Don, pick up Kenji. And then both of you guys get the hell out of Dodge. I was watching an old stream and there was a character named question mark whose faction was Second Empire. Do you know if it's from a mod? He was in the South Gut, if I recall. Yeah, that's from a mod. That's definitely from a mod. I think it might be from the Weapon Dissemination mod or something that adds in a couple of different unique NPCs from the Second Empire. Have you ever thought of having a base in the mountains in Wend? Yeah, I've built a couple of bases in the mountains of Wend. It's not quite in the mountains of Wend, but actually one of the first bases that I ever did like a base building video on was my Holy Nation City that I did right on the crevice there in Wend between Ogryn's Pride and there, and then the Dwarven Fortress actually that I recently put out. The Dwarven Fortress base build is in the Rebirth Mountains, like in Wend, or just outside of Wend and all of that stuff. So I've done a couple of bases in that area. Help up Kenji. I'm down. How much? Oh yeah, we got plenty of charge on this. What's his robotic stat? Is it asinine? Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. It is pretty good. Weapon dissemination mod, got it. Yeah, the weapon dissemination mod adds in a ton of unique NPCs and stuff to the game. Man, modding this game is so tedious. How many mods do you think this game can typically handle? It depends on your PC and what your what your specs are. If you've got a decent PC, about 150 to 200 mods. I wouldn't think I'd ever go above 300. Modding the game can be tedious. The hardest part is getting your load order set up. But I believe Atlas has a pretty good guide that you can follow to do your load order. And then if you want a quick and easy load order, mine is also available in the description for collection. And I also actually put not only do I have all of the mods available for one-click download, but I also have the load order in the description. So all you have to do is update your mod.cfg, and it's incredibly stable. incredibly stable. Yeah, I would never go above like 200 mods on my end. I think I could handle 300, but I don't think I would ever realistically or reasonably go above um, like 200 just for the sake of stability. I think anything more than that would just be asinine. How are you guys doing? Oh yeah, they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. Load order is just an issue when mods do a lot of different stuff. Mostly, yeah, you just got to make sure that you're not overriding things that shouldn't be overridden or anything like that. And having a good stable load order is a part of that. Um, you know, it's good to use to do everything. As a rule of thumb, you should always organize your mods into a specific load order. Um, Based on categories and stuff. Like I said, Atlas has a really good, really handy guide for the proper load order and stuff that was put out a while ago, a couple of years ago. That I would recommend. I've used it in the past, or if you're using a preset like mod collection like mine, oftentimes people will post like an optimal load order so you can update your mod.cfg. I usually run about 100, mostly additional gear and a few animation mods. Yeah, I think not like the vast majority of my mods are animation mods and stuff that adds in like new types of gear, and then occasionally some performance mods for like particle effects and stuff that convert them to DDS files. Like it converts them out from PNGs to DDS or compresses them down with textures and stuff to make them run a little bit better. One that fixes the shader engine on the back end because Kenshi's shader engine is kind of broken by default. Stuff like that. But like for the most part, most of my mods have to do with animations, alternate starts, and adding in like weapons and armor. That's pretty much the big thing for me. I just identified my problem. I have an i7 CPU and a 3060 NVIDIA with 16 gigs of RAM with an SSD with Windows installed directly on it, but I'm shoving 413 mods on it. Yeah, you're running similar specs to mine. So I'm running an i7 9700F with a 3060 Ti and 32 gigs of RAM, and then an SSD. What is it? I'm running an SSD with Windows on it, and then I have a second SSD that has Kenshi on it. So, and I would never go above 200 mods. I think you just have too many. I think that's probably just your biggest issue. You probably have too many. I would never recommend that. Too many. Too many. You've outdone yourself. All right, so we're almost back to the base. This is good, yes. This is good. We're about to cross Brink. Absolute shithole of a town, Brink. We're going to head back to the base. Give Rex his armor. I've got 2 sets of armor to run for. 4090 with an i9 and 128 gigs of RAM. I think I'm good. Yeah, I'd say you're probably good. I'd say you're probably good. Yeah, I'd say that you're probably good. I'm jealous, goddamn. Oh man, my PC would be much better, but I am a miser with money, and I like to have like 3 months worth of bills and savings at all times. And if I don't, then I start to have like crippling panic attacks. I'm financially fucking psychotic. It's kind of a problem. If I have anything less than 3 months worth of saving, like at least 2 months worth of bills in my savings account at any given time, I start to have like intermittent panic attacks. So otherwise, my PC would be much better. I get about an hour plus the RAM prices these days and everything else. It's just not worth it right now. I get about an hour in and things get real strange. Starts with funny conflicts and then fatal to the instance beyond an hour and a half. Yeah, yeah. No, too many mods. Too many mods. Custom built for $6,000 a year and a half ago. Given the current RAM prices, I don't even want to think what it would cost now. It would probably cost you double that at the very minimum. I mean, that's from what you just described. That's like a $10,000 PC minimum, $12,000 minimum easily. Which is funny because I make the least money in the household, but I'm currently the most financially stable. Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it? It's funny how that works. Workshop, in my opinion, honestly, Steam Workshop mods are always like just a huge plus for any community. I feel like games always flourish when Steam Workshop is involved just because it becomes so easy. It becomes so much more accessible for the average person to get into modding. Like, look at XCOM, man. It's so fucking easy. You just click and install that shit, which, by the way, maybe I should do an XCOM run on one of my non-Kenshi streams. I should do a Star Wars XCOM run. Ah, I love me some XCOM. I haven't played XCOM in a while, and I should definitely do a Star Wars XCOM. I've beaten it like 6 times, and every time it's just so goated. It's so good. It's so good. I like doing like the full Clone Wars revamp, or the full Star Wars revamp, where like all of the enemies are like droids and shit like that. All of your character, you know, get a full character pool of the clones, with the occasional Jedi mod, and then what is it? They replace the alpha enemies, like the alpha berserker, the the Archon and all that stuff, with Palpatine, Mara Jade, and Vader. Dude, fucking peak. And then if you add some of the third tier factions in, where you have like random raids by the Mandalorian bounty hunters, or random raids by the Sisters of Dathomir, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, so good, so good, so good. I'm obsessed with Star Wars. I love Star Wars so much. There's a reason that like I'm excited that the next playthrough is going to be Project Cthulhu, because I've never played it and it's Star Wars. There's a reason I played Star Wars Battlefront that one day on stream. Why I want to do an XCOM Star Wars playthrough. Like, dude, just I do love me some Star Wars. So good. You're talking some legacy, serious legacy lore. Why is it? Because I brought up Mara Jade. We do love Mara Jade. Use lightsabers at least, because people always get the light gun. I literally don't know anything about I don't know anything about the Star Wars mod for Kenshi, other than obviously that it exists. I don't know what's in it. I don't know. I know there's like some you get really cool animations with like the Jedi and Sith and stuff. I know there's like a lot more focus and emphasis on gunplay and blasters. Obviously, I'm really excited about it. I'm also told it has caves? Question mark. Can someone confirm that? Does it have caves? You tried the Genesis mod for Starfield yet? Apparently, they recently added lightsabers. I have played the Star Wars Genesis mod, the Star Wars Genesis Starfield mod. I have played it. It was a while ago. I haven't played it since they added lightsabers, but I did play it, and it's really fucking good. It makes the game honestly worth it. Turtle, you have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you for stopping in. Many appreciations, my friend. Jedi Academy and Empire at War. Empire at War is peak, dude. Oh my god. I hoped so much that I had sincerely hoped that the next I'm glad, don't get me wrong, I'm hyped about Total War 40K. I am hyped about it, but I was really hoping in the back of my mind that it was going to be Star Wars instead. Ultimately, we ended up getting the revelation that it was Fate of the Old Republic instead. It's going to be a KOTOR 3 basically, or a KOTOR reboot. We don't really know exactly what the direction is, but it's made by the same guy that made KOTOR, all of that stuff. But I was really hoping we were going to get Total War Star Wars. And they ended up announcing 40K instead, which I'm happy about. But I would have preferred Star Wars, admittedly. They bought the license. Total War did. When did that happen? When did that happen? No, not Chris Avalon. It's what's his name? It's shit. Hold on, let me look it up, because it was the guy who did the original story for KOTOR, I believe. Hold on. I need to look it up because there's it's not Vance Dillon. I mean, I'm sure he's on it, but that's not who I was talking about. Chris Hunt, maybe. Maybe. Mike Hunt? No. Nope, not Mike Hunt. No, no. Not today. Maybe. Maybe if he showers first. Um, who was it? Or KOTOR on Photor. Casey Hudson, that's who it is. Casey Hudson was the game director and creative lead for Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic, as a spiritual successor to Knights of the Old Republic. Hudson was also involved in Knights of the Old Republic back in the day as well. So, yeah, Casey Hudson's returning for Photor, which does, bode very well. But yeah, dude, if Total War Star Wars happens, I will shit the largest brick, the largest brick. I will be playing that shit on stream for at least a couple of days. In full transparency, I will stop everything I'm doing to do that. I'm about to make your day, Logic. I'm about to make your day. Are you ready for this? You see Rex here? Logic, tell me, what is your least favorite thing about Rex here? What is your least favorite trait about our boy Rex here? I'm assuming it's his lack of helmet. I'm assuming it's his lack of helmet. Well, have no fear, comrade. My least favorite thing about Rex is his existence. The only dragon here, you say that. Alright, well, I can't necessarily help you with his existence issue, but he has a helmet at least now. He's got a helmet now. His face is covered. It leaks right now. They're in the process of getting it started. Star Wars Total War. I need to look this up. I need to confirm this. Hold on. I need to pause this and confirm this. Because this has been leaked a few times over the year, and I want to see if there's any... Yeah, it hasn't been officially announced. The rumored upcoming strategy game reportedly in development, creative assembly with potential release at 2026. Multiple reliable sources indicate it's one of 3 new Total War projects. I think that leak happened prior to the Game Awards, and the intention was that it was going to the intention that it was going to be announced during the Game Awards, and then it ended up being 40K instead. I don't know if these leaks are credible right now. I wish. Unfortunate. Well, if it does happen, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Either way, 40K Total War is going to be cool too. But again, I was admittedly hoping for Star Wars, but we'll take it. I'm okay with it. If it's Clone Wars, I can't wait to have 3 full armies marching around, just a full B1 battle choice. Roger, dude. I fuck with some Roger Rogers. I do. All right, we're gonna pop over to the shops and see how they're doing. How's our man Burn doing? Long Stout, how are you doing, man? We need to get you some food. Be a food cube. Yeah, and we're gonna put you on the. We're gonna make you get some gains, my guy. You need some gains. Need some gains. That's what we need. We're making steady progress. We're at 192,000. We got 800,000 left. I hope it's better than modded Empire at War, because I'm not going to lie, Empire at War is going to be hard to beat. Empire at War ground combat is going to be easy to beat. Empire at War's space combat is going to be really fucking hard. Empire at War had easily the best space combat, for sure. It killed it. Absolutely killed it. And the cinematic button where it would go full like movie. Oh my god, so good. That's Battlefront, right? No. Empire at War was a real-time strategy game from the early 2000s that was Star Wars centric, and it was like an old school like RTS. So good, so good. I realize this is going to rile up some jimmies, but Warhammer 40K, I'm not a fan. Life is too expendable in the universe, and everyone notable is a magic cybernetic freak. So I am not a huge fan of 40K as a universe. Like in terms of the lore, it doesn't interest me that much. Um, I like the Warhammer Fantasy universe a lot better. In my opinion, I enjoy the lore for the fantasy universe a lot better. So, um, like StarCraft, but Star Wars. Yeah, literally, that's what it was. It was like StarCraft, but Star Wars, and then it also had the ability to fight. Um, you could do space battles and land battles, and it was really really cool. Really really cool. They dropped the ball big time with end times. Are you talking about the new expansion dropping for 40 for Warhammer Total War 3? Because I'm pretty hyped honestly about Nagash. I'm pretty fucking hyped about Nagash, and hopefully Monkey King too. I want to get the monkey like Sung Wukong in there. Star Wars Empire at War was kind of like Total War, to be honest. It had a real time campaign though, but it was a campaign on a map that you focused into battles as they happened or could auto resolve. Yeah, I mean it was kind of like Total War. In many ways, but I think a proper like new Total War game with current current effects, current graphics, and a current engine, larger scale, mix in aspects like what is it? Mix in like the cover system and stuff that you got from Company of Heroes. But Star Wars, like someone needs to make a proper Company of Heroes Star Wars mod. I think that game honestly has the best chance of being. Does that exist? Somebody look that up. Does a Star Wars Company of Heroes overhaul exist? Because honestly, um, Company of Heroes has the perfect engine for creating a good like Clone Wars experience, in my opinion. That'd be fire. Ah, that'd be fire. That'd be so good. I think Company of Heroes Star Wars would be absolutely fire. The cover system alone would make it absolute fire. To look into that. I honestly that may even be something that gets me to purchase Company of Heroes. I played Company of Heroes 2. I heard Company of Heroes 3 sucks, but I haven't played it myself, so I don't actually know. I don't know anything. I'm just hopping on the bandwagon on that one. Star Wars or Lord of the Rings? It depends. It depends. Hey, Red, how are you doing? For grimdark, over the top wackiness, 40K for nihilistic beauty, Kenshi. Exactly, Eric. Exactly. Exactly. How you doing, Red? 6-month-old Reddit thread said they're working on a Star Wars Company of Heroes mod. I'll look into it. If it's Company of Heroes 2 or 3, I'll take it. Because honestly, like the cover system in that alone makes it worth it. Seeing clones bop each other like that, it'd be fire. Absolutely fire. Alright, lot of hashish here. Lot of hashish. What are we doing on... Oh yeah, dude, we're set on hemp. I should probably make more hemp processors to increase our hashish production, shouldn't I? Why is your science low? Are we working in darkness? What the hell are you talking about? It's bright as balls in here. Large torch post. What do you mean working in darkness? It's bright as hell in here, but that's fine. Nice. I've seen a lot of your videos and never caught you live, though. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I apologize. I'm usually a little bit more emotive and like loud and expressive during my lives, but I am currently dealing with some issues with my throat, so I can't talk super duper loud. No, I'm glad you decided to pop in. I hope you enjoy yourself. If you have any questions or anything about Kenshi or not about Kenshi, you let me know. You need to buy more lanterns, heroes. The dog might come find where you live and get you. Personally, my favorite Goofy story from 40K is the one time a bunch of orcs were fixing a ship in the vacuum of space until their leader said, "How are you able to breathe in space?" Then suffocated. That's so funny. That's so funny. The orcs are funny because they're literally fungus. They're full on fungus people. That's the whole joke about them, is that they're just fungus. They're just fucking fungus. Good old fungies. So why is only hivers know how to make lanterns? I don't know. That's a good question. I think everyone has the propensity for creating lanterns. I just think the hivers are the only ones that think to do it. They're fun guys. They're fun guys. Ha ha! I'll see myself out. This is so dumb. It's a dumb. The boys, the greenskins, the good boys. Alright, I need to decide if I'm going to stick with Southern Hive armor, like the full plate armor for this, or if I'm going to respect Dragon's wishes and give him unholy plate armor. His Dragon requested I give him unholy plate armor, and technically that is, you know, what he's meant to have, but I think Southern Hive gives him better defense, by and large. I don't like the color, but what are you going to do, you know? What are you going to do? I don't really care for the color. Mick, Shrike, Crumblejohn. I think Cosmic still needs to have his legs removed. Who else can have their legs removed? You know, we should probably do Bugs's legs. I feel like Bugs needs new legs. That's what I think needs to happen here. My guy is he has too many legs. He has too many legs. Head defense on 200 HP is a pure luxury. Oh, man. Spiders do have too many legs. You're correct. I can't hold it back anymore. I have to boot up Kenshi. I understand. I understand. Put this water down for right now. We gotta take off your weapons. Take off your clothes. Get naked. Get naked, Bugman. Because we're throwing you in the, machine. Alright. Why are there no musical instruments in Kenshi? Oh, god damn it. Hold on. No, 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 no. All of you guys, get away from here. Is that a peeler? I thought you had a surgery table. I do have surgery tables. Right here. This is a surgery table. That's why he has an IV drip. Believe me, peelers are way more aggressive. This is a surgery table, my friend. This is, in fact, a surgery table. Yes, I understand I have freedom of choice, and it's my choice, but dang you for tempting me with no life Kenshi hero. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I didn't mean to. It wasn't me. These are slanderous and bold accusations against me. Oh my god, will you guys fuck off? How dare you guys try to help out your fellow man? All of you go over there. Alright, Don, we're going to go over and we're going to heal up his arms and his legs a little bit. Oh my god, all of you fuck off. Oh my god, this limb removal is not going the way that I intended it to. They all keep coming back to try and help him, and it's super obnoxious because, well, I do appreciate their love for their fellow, for their comrade in arms here. I wish they would promptly fuck off. I am trying to do something. I did lock the door. They keep running over and unlocking it. That's a lot of work. It'll be fine. It's fine. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put him down. We're gonna heal him up just a little bit. Heal up his right arm. And we're gonna heal up his right, yeah, heal up his right arm. We're gonna let him heal up just a little bit. Yeah, fuck it. We might as well just bite the bullet on it. If I'm quick enough, we should be fine. If I'm quick enough, we should be fine. How's he doing? 99. Nice. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I did. I took his leg right off. It's all right. The plan was originally just to nugget him a little bit, but we're gonna. I guess we're gonna nugget him the whole. Nugget him the whole way. You know. Nope. Nope. He died from blood loss. Well, that is unfortunate. Unfortunately, Bugs the Smiler Jones did not survive his nuggeting. He died on the operating table. We tried our best, but he did in fact die on the operating table. Press F in the chat, everybody. Bugs the Smiler Jones did not survive his nuggeting. Most unfortunate. Most unfortunate. Well, he died the way he lived. Quietly, I guess. Quietly is probably the best way to say it. Yeah. Yeah. Most unfortunate. The nuggeting, yeah. We lost a good man today. Probably. I don't actually know much about him. We lost a man today. Could nugget up after that. Man couldn't nugget up after that. He couldn't. He could knock it up. He could nugget up. True. 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 I was there and he just couldn't do it. It's funny how much we does toughness influence bloodlust rate? It does. I'm pretty sure it does. It's funny how many people we've lost this playthrough from usually like miscellaneous crap. So we had one guy that got shot in the head in the fields by one of our own turrets. He died instantly. We had two people bleed out that we didn't know were bleeding. One person starve, and then we also had I think we lost two of our enforced, like our air bots. They bled out because they wouldn't get off of their turrets. And then we had one of our Southern Hive princes get shot in the back of the head and die immediately from a harpoon. We've lost a good number of people to friendly fire on this playthrough. It's not great. Not great. But I also think that it's thematically it fits because like we're a mafia, right? Like we're a mob. And as a byproduct of that, I feel like you know, it's inherently less safe. The injuries are gonna happen, people are gonna die, you know, it is what it is. Guy should have worn a helmet. Let it be known helmets protect the head from harpoons. I mean, in fairness, the ones that died were wearing helmets. Well, one of them wasn't actually, but that had nothing. He wasn't a Southern Hiver. Came back to F's in the chat. What happened? Oh, Bugs the Smiler died on the operating table while he was undergoing his nuggetization. Yeah, he bled out. Unfortunately, he did not survive his nuggeting, and he bled out. Most unfortunate. Most unfortunate. So we're down a man. We're down a man. Can't say that I saw that coming. F for Bugs. Yeah, Bugs didn't he didn't deserve that. That's not the end he deserved. It's the end he got though. It's the end he got though. I am, however, going to go give his weapon to Ruka, I suppose. That looks so sad. Yeah, he arguably deserved better. But you know, it's done now. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? He died the way he lived. He died the way he lived. It's okay though, because now Ruka is a top level enforcer. I mean, look at her. She looks like a badass. Look at that. The pose, the giant fucking katana. She looks like a monster. She's an absolute unit. Look at her. Absolute unit. I wouldn't fuck with her. I wouldn't fuck with her. No. Did you leave the body like that? I did. I did. We're the mob. We're not gonna clean up after ourselves. He'll decompose eventually. He'll decompose eventually. So yeah, Ruka looks like a beast though. I'm happy to have her as the Don's bodyguard. All right, the three of you, you guys have a new objective. We're gonna go back over to the cactus den, and I'm gonna try for like the 5th time to see if I can find the Oni of the cactus den. Be like the 5th time that I've tried to do this. And then after that, we're going to make another economic run. Head on over to town, start selling some stuff. Buying and selling, buying and selling. What we do. We got 800,000 cats to go. Sand Ninja Jonin out here. Hell yeah, kick his ass. Keep on kicking his ass. Nice. Nice. Alright, let's see if we can find the Oni. Yeah, every time I come over here, the Sand Ninja Oni has been missing. And I don't know why. They're always just miraculously gone. But they still have to be alive because the faction is still fucking here. So it's always been a very confusing situation because, like, there's no reason they should be here if the Oni is gone. And yet they are, which means the Oni is still alive and not in jail. Ruka, your job is to stay over here. Over here. A lot of micromanaging here. Kenshi, take out you. Ruka, take out you. And Don, you head over here. That's a juggernaut. Get bopped, son. Kenshi, fight back, man. What are you doing? I used to have a bunch of issues with Sand Ninjas due to Reactive World. Maybe that's why I'm having the issue, but I've been playing with Reactive World for years, and I've never had this issue. I've never had the issue where the Sand Ninja Oni just doesn't show up. And this particular playthrough, they're nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Top. Yeah, just nowhere to be found. They have a unique mask on because of the weapon dissemination mod, and then in addition to that, they also have a Maitao weapon. It's a Maitao hidden katana. It's like the Kakilahara, or however the hell you pronounce it. I don't fucking know. But I'm pissed about it because I want that weapon. Did you break out Yabuto? That's the only reason I could think of. I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't been to Tengu's vault. I have no idea. There was a bunch of mercenaries here a while back, and I thought maybe they had killed her. But again, if she was dead or if she was in prison, then the Sand Ninjas would stop spawning. This tower would become dilapidated and disappear. I think it's just a bug. I think I just got a bug where basically they didn't spawn is what it is. The only thing I can think of. It's alright. Don's gonna fucking clean house over here, because that's what Don does. Donnie's an animal. It's even worse when he gets inside. You don't mess with the McChicken. Hell yeah. Was this save ever imported, or is this an Iron Man from the beginning? I mean, I import every time I boot up stream for the sake of stability, but it is an Iron Man run in the sense that I don't, I've never reloaded after something bad happens. So it's a non-save scum run, but I do import before every episode of the stream for the sake of stability. Oh shit. It's alright, Kenshi will deal with him. The real question is Don going to be able to get up and heal himself? If not, Ruka can. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. There we go. Is your medical kit in here? No, your medical kit's not there at all. Okay, we're gonna have to let's fucking hop in here real fast. Seriously? You have a locked container with some fucking ground beef in there? What are you doing? It could be an import issue, the faction leader being misplaced or spawning under the ground or just not spawning at all. I believe after the next import it should be fine. I mean, I've imported, I think, seven or eight times since I noticed it, and it's still, they're just gone. I think it's just an issue with the save. I think the character just never spawned. I've imported a few times. I'm sure if I imported dead NPCs, it would fix it. And I don't think I've, excuse me. I don't think I've had an issue with any, I don't think I've turned in any major NPCs, so I don't think it'll be an issue. I mean, it's not the end of the world, you know? It is what it is. It's a relatively minor inconvenience in the grand scheme of things, so I'm not too concerned about it. It's just something that I think is interesting because it does lock me out of getting that particular Maitao, and I always have the Sand Ninja like knocking on my door, but it's really not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, thankfully. Just a minor inconvenience. Oh man. Hello to everybody who just joined. I see we're sitting around 108 people right now. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Apologies that I don't have the usual energy and fervor that I do on stream more often than not. I can't talk super duper loud right now as a result of some an issue I'm having with my throat right now. But we're moving. We're moving. Nope. Could be a major NPC not spawning instead, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it could be a number of things. It's not the end of the world. It could be worse. You know, Tengu or something, or Longan could not spawn. So at the end of the day, it's not the worst thing that's happened. This is the first time this has ever happened. Is she the one with the katana hidden in the pole arm? Yeah, it is. That is the one she has, and she has the Maitao variant of it. And she has the Maitao variant of it. Oh shit, we gotta get Ruka to back to the base to get healed up. She's bleeding out. Go, 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 go. Didn't realize how bad she was. Run, Don. Run as fast as those cybernetic legs will carry you. Oh, money. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. God. These guys all have cash on them. I had no idea. Hello. They're like little piggy banks. Hilarious. Dragon, how you doing? Good, good, good. Dragon, I have news for you. So I have two options for you with Rex. I have either full God damn it, hold on. Full Southern plate mail Or I also have in somewhere. Oh, I have in one of the other one of the containers. I have unholy armor. I figured I'd ask you what you'd prefer. Southern plate mail or unholy armor. Oh man, okay. So do let me know what you prefer. Unholy armor. Okay. All right. All right. All right. He has spoken. Logic's gonna fight you, I'm sure. By doing unholy armor, you effectively lose the helmet. Boom, unholy armor. Also a paladin's cross. I do have to get the paladin's. Excuse me, paladin's cross back. I still have to grab that. Still have to grab that. Ruka. Okay, good. Ruka is resting currently. Kenji, what are you up to? Oh, right. You're over here doing Kenji things. Hey, howdy gang. How we doing today? We're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good. We're having a nice slow ASMR stream because Hero's voice is still a little fucked up. Things are still a little fucked up for him. I'm not tired. I have a what is it? I have an ulcer in the back of my throat, so I can't talk super duper loud. Otherwise, it'll exacerbate it. I didn't stream yesterday because I was letting it heal up a little bit more. I streamed with it all last week, and I ended up making it worse. So by the time Friday, like Thursday night came around, after that stream, my voice was completely fucked. My throat was killing me. So I didn't stream yesterday, and opted to take the day to let it heal. And now I'm kind of just talking a little bit lower, so I don't strain my throat or anything. That's why I'm not like bouncing around and doing all the crazy, more interactive shit that I usually do, because I don't want to fuck my throat up. Just got done playing Kenshi myself. Finally finished off the final building in my base. Got a lovely little spot by the river in the southeast of the Spider Plains. A hill makes a fun multi-tiered base. Yes, it does. I enjoy hills because they have that natural incline that you can use walls to make like effectively plateaus. Not plateaus. You can make like multiple tiers up and stuff. It looks really cool. I do love myself a good multi-tiered base. Multi-tiered bases are where it's at. It is where it is at. Alright, so we're letting these guys heal up. While we're letting them heal, we're going to pop on over to one of our shops and see how that's doing. Stout, our main money-making shop. Although it doesn't look like there's many people even in Stout right now, which is wild. Wild to think about. Wild work, everybody. Wild work. Do the double save. I have to go through and clear out some of my old saves at some point, now that I'm done with that specific cinematic. Oh, also, we are working on getting the last voice actor for my anthology series, so we should have that in full production very, very soon. I have 3 people currently auditioning for the last part, so we should be getting that very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. Well, at least in production. It's not going to be done very, very soon, but it's going to be in production very soon. After the last voice actor has been selected. I think the only ones that I don't have the lines for, I don't have the recordings for, are the character that has yet to be selected, and then there's one other character that the part has been chosen, but I don't have the lines for him yet. It's Pato's character, so I gotta get a hold of Pato, and I say get a hold of Pato. I talk to him like every day. I gotta tell Pato to give me his lines soon. I say get a hold of Pato. I talk to him literally every day. Alrighty, how are we doing on inventory? Not half bad, not half bad. I hope the Southern Hive gets into another Southern Hive. The Western Hive gets into another fight over here. That'll be where it's at. I do love when the Western Hive gets into fights because I get to raid their bags. I I get to raid their bags. Not half bad. There's stuff in here that I can just manually sell on my end. There is. I can sell those off manually. That'll do. I'll sell this meat too. That'll do. Sell that shit myself. Beto and Hero are bald legends. It's what we are. It's what we are. We're bald. We are bald. By the way, for everybody that's watching, second episode of the Tengu's Vault podcast. Pedo and I run a Kenshi-centric podcast called Tengu's Vault. First episode was aired on my channel. The VOD is up and whatnot on my channel. Second episode is going to be aired on the official Kenshi, the official Tengu's Vault podcast channel. And that will be up this Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be on there for about an hour, hour and a half, talking about the First Empire. And then if you don't get a chance to tune in for that, it will also be available on Spotify shortly afterwards as well. So join us live on Wednesday at 3:30. If you need the link to Logic, can you do me a favor and put the link for the Tengu's Vault channel in the chat, as well as a link to the upcoming live on there? It'd be much appreciated. Go ahead and hop on over there, subscribe to the channel, and then hit the notification bell so you guys are aware when it goes live. But we would love to have y'all there. So episode 2 of Tengu's Vault launches on Wednesday. So we're super hyped about it, and we hope to see many of you there. I feel like I need to get somebody to replace bugs. Lead Norm? What a name. What a fucking name. Lead Norm. What a fucking name. Hacks. Yeah, I almost feel obligated to replace bugs. Ugh, excuse me. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Back on over here. We'll just pop a squat. There we go. So there's the link to the Tengu's Vault podcast episode. Yeah. Tengu, are you related to Igor? Rex, read Tengu later. Are you related to Rex? Igor, just because I'm a Southern Hiver doesn't mean I know every Southern Hiver. I agree. That's pretty offensive to assume that they would all know each other. That's crazy. Some people just have no social cue, no social battery. No social conscience, I mean. Ridiculous. Slanderous, one might say. Doing over here. Not well. I think with this one, I'm going to actually just take the inventory and manually go sell it, because this shop does not appear to be working super duper well, which is fine. Oh, hello. There's violence occurring in here. The United Cities Hero League. Interesting. Just because they're all related. Yeah, so do remember, guys, to go pop on over, subscribe to the Tengu's Vault podcast channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys know when we go live. I'm going to be hyping this up for the next couple of days, so just so you guys are aware. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We talk lore, we talk other stuff. We answer questions in the chat and just hang out, have a good time. We would love to see you all there. You get this man a backpack. That's what I do. I want to make a mod that creates a memorial wall that you can type names into the slots and build in your bases. That'd be cool. That'd be really, really cool. What's the lore on the United Cities Hero League? They seem like they're just common racist thugs. Their leader is Lord Mirage. It's implied that he might be a lesser noble who is effectively... He's a lesser noble who's trying to expand his status by, like, removing... make a name for himself as a lesser noble by removing non-humans from the United Cities. He's just a lesser noble with a power trip. which isn't that different from the normal nobles, but you know, he just doesn't have the same authority. He's a douchebag. That's his story. He's a douche. A douche. He's Nigel Farage. Seems like he'd go far in the Holy Nation. Yeah, there's kind of an implication that they might there's nothing to indicate they're Ochre Knights, but like they kind of operate in the same pretense that like non-humans, but they're doing it for non-religious reasons. They're doing it for other reasons. Um, yeah, they're doing it for economic reasons and whatnot. They feel like the non-humans aren't good for the thing. How many cities are there in the Empire? Oh shit, offhand, I don't think I even. What is it? There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 up there. 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 or 10, I believe. I don't remember the exact number. It's been a while. I think there's not. I think there's either it's somewhere between 10 and 12. If I had to throw a number out there, I want to say it's between 10 and 12. They got a good number of cities. They have a good number. They have 0 disposition with the Holy Nation. 0 disposition means that they don't dislike them, but they don't like them. They're not hated by the Holy Nation. They don't dislike them. They don't have an opinion on them. Which, in this day and age, you know, why does this game run worse the better your PC is? I mean, it depends, I guess, on what you mean by that. In my experience, I don't think I would agree with that particular assessment. They have 9 major cities, but they have a few settlements that can effectively count as cities, I think. Yeah, 9. Okay, that's yeah. There you go. There you go. I'm gonna say, you know, somewhere between 8 and 12, somewhere in there. 10 cities, 10 nobles, plus the emperor and the shogun. True. It's true. True. So true. Logic, you see, that makes me think perhaps selectable font colors and styles, perhaps compatibility with the mod that gives different races blood other colors. Indeed. It runs cool on my bad PC, but runs super hot on the resource intensive and crashes more on top tier PCs. I mean, my performance went up dramatically on a top tier PC. Are you running it on an SSD on both, or are you running it on an SSD on the other one? It also depends what your in-game settings are, what the resolution on the top tier PC is. Are you running, you know, 1080p on the lower end PC, and then you're running 2K on the top tier one? What are your in-game settings? What mods, what reshades are you running? If any at all. I mean, there's a lot of questions. Are you running SSD on you know, are you running SSD on both of them? Or are you running one on an HDD and then both the other one on SSD? Is your refresh monitor optimized exactly? Is what is it? Have you fiddled with the NVIDIA settings to make sure that you're using like your yeah, I mean there could be a number of reasons for it, because in my experience that's not it's nothing I've experienced. As far as I've always been able to tell, Kenshi runs much better on a better PC. I mean, I used to have a much shittier PC. I used to run this thing on a fucking um I used to run this game on an Alienware Alpha. I'd assume that would cause problems in other games. Running thing like having NVIDIA optimize your game? No, it optimizes the game specifically. Also, it may benefit you to cap your frame rate through NVIDIA if you have an NVIDIA GPU. Of course, obviously, if you're running like an AMD, this doesn't count. But it may benefit you to use NVIDIA to cap your frame rate at 60. Sometimes if a game has access to too many frames or tries to generate too many frames at once, sometimes it can cause bloat and build up on the back end, and you have frame spikes and dips and whatnot. If you lock your frame at 60 or even 70, like I lock my games at 70, flat 70. I'll never play above 70. The human eye can't even really see anything above 60. Not well anyway. Lock your game at 65, 70, and you'll see performance increases across the board in a lot of games. Fucking Fallout taught me that. See you later, Dragon. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for popping in. And Grink, how are you doing? Selling a little bit of stuff. A little bit of stuff. Not by much, though. Not by much, though. At least I can get backpacks around here. Probably not. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this place has no backpacks. I think that was one of my fucking annoyances with this place. I should have bought this shop. Maybe I'll move all of my stuff over to this shop because it's right by the door, and I feel like no one ever comes into this shop. I should have bought that one. My hope was that I was right by by the noble's house, and so the noble might pop in here sometimes and just clean out my inventory, but it does not appear to be the case. I think I just bought a bad location. We're going to drop 20,000 on this one. Building purchased, and we're gonna start the annoying process of hauling everything over there. So first I need to get a shop counter. Trade. All right, let's get a shop counter built over there. We're gonna move everything over here and see if that helps better. More people tend to pass by this building, so the hope is that more people will come in and purchase things. It's more in their pathway. Storage. Shop counter. Right there. You alone solve the the Empire's economic crisis. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We're dropping all the money. All the money. Over here, grab another building material, and then we have the long, arduous task of moving everything over, and that's going to take for fucking ever. Because I don't have a backpack. Not really hyped about that, but you know. Really cool if I could just open both at the same time, but I don't think I'm able to, yeah. Oh, look. Shinobi thieves are fighting the United Cities. Interesting. Not the way that I expected that to go, but apparently the Shinobi thieves are now fighting the United Cities. Jesus Christ, they're about to wipe them off the face of the map. One upside to that though, not the greatest thing in the world, but it is an upside, I suppose. Is once the Shinobi thieves are gone from this place, I'll be able to get their backpacks. So, you know, upsides, I suppose. That's not going to cause any long-lasting problems. Yeah, no, it's not ideal for sure, but you know, it's fine. The Shinobi thieves are our allies, but we're not gonna help them out with this. It is interesting to see that the United States is cracking down on them, though. They're really giving it to him, though. I will give them that. They really are giving it to him. Really beating the shit out of him with that jite, too. Stop resisting. I'm shocked that they're having this much difficulty because the UC Samurai actually have, like, way better stats, so I'm shocked that this is taking them so long. It seems like the defense of the Shinobi Thieves is actively getting better as the fight is going on, too, though, so there's probably that. Still going. Oh, geez, they won. Color me shocked. Color me shocked. Not the outcome I expected. This is what I love about Kenshi, though. Like, the game just kind of decided that these two coexisting factions were going to start fighting each other. Yeah, and now there's blood in the streets. Blood in the streets. Look at that. That's a dead thief. Dying thief over here. Someone had to have done something out of the blue to kick this off. Some thief got caught buying something illegal or something, I don't know, or trespassing. That's one of the big issues that ends up happening, especially because there's so many NPCs on the screen at once because I have my population setting set to 2.25. And so, like, as a byproduct of that, you know, we will oftentimes see these fights break out just because of that. Ah, Grink. How you doing? You're gonna wear all that stuff. Grink is just doing his thing. He's grinking around. Where did that other thief run off to? The one with the backpack. I was gonna loot his backpack, but I don't know where he went. He's been enslaved. Yeah, a lot of the shinobi thieves have been enslaved. Most unfortunate. Oh, they're in here, aren't they? I think the fight started in here. Yep. Yep. Fight started in here. Holy shit. Yep. Fight definitely started in here. Hello. Take all of you, and I'm going to take your backpack because we're good friends, probably. At one point, we were good friends. And I'm going to leave. And I'm going to leave. Oh, no. I wonder if we can find patient 0. I mean, it was probably in there if I had to guess. Alright, we're going to start moving product over. This is still going to take for fucking ever, but that's fine. It'll take less time than it would have before. But we're going to move everything over to this building because then we should get a little bit more foot traffic. Could get a little bit more foot traffic. My hope in here was that the noble would come out and, like, pop in and buy stuff, but he usually goes right around and buys stuff from the blacksmith instead. I should have known better. The nobles usually only go in and buy weapons and stuff. They're one of the few NPCs that will actually spend money on weapons. Should have known better. Alright, we'll leave it split 50-50 like this for a little while, and I'll see how it goes. I'll see how it does now that I have this building open as well. I'll see if maybe production or stuff picks up. Production of fundage. If not, we might just end up needing to close down one of our stores. This one seems to be selling pretty well, though. 240,000 cats, or just under 240,000 cats, so we still have a bit of a ways to go, but we are making progress towards our end goal. I would ideally like to sell them out of the shop counters, though, because if you sell them from the shop counter, we don't get the sell value. We get the buy value, like the normal value, because they're buying it from us for that much, so... Took me a few minutes to realize you're just moving stock. I thought you were scalping another man's products. Oh, no. Not this time. Not this time. How's Longstout doing? He's been training strength for a while. We gotta get this man strong. Strong AF. Strong AF. Yeah. Making gains. Gotta be thick like Burn. Have you guys seen Burn recently? Dude's thick like a Snickers. Look at him. I would not fuck with him. I would not fuck with him. That was a different stream, I think. That was, in fact, a different stream. Or anytime the Western Hive ends up picking a fight in Stout, that's what ends up happening. Common occurrence in Stout. Western Hive picks a fight. Next thing you know, Back in his prime. All he does all day is just sit around pumping iron, drink. It's pouring grog onto his servos. That's all he does all day. The man's got a problem. The man's got a problem. Speaking of the Western Hive, I haven't seen them in a while. Nomads. I have a feeling these nomads are going to end up getting into a fight too. They have a tendency to piss people off when they come into Stout. Stout is like the #1 town for violence. I don't know why, but if you sit in Stout long enough, eventually the town will always devolve into just an absolute fucking anarchy. Everyone will try to kill each other. I don't know why. I truly don't. It's wild stuff. Wild stuff. The town just devolves into full-on anarchy after a while. If you just hang out long enough. What you need to do is you need to get the nomads, the manhunters, and the Western Hive all in the town at the same time. And shit just goes so far south. So far south. Just goes so far south. Alright, head back to Grink. So we do appear to be selling some stuff here. I think this location might work out a little bit better. We do have both buildings open, so potential is there for both to sell, but we're getting there. We're sitting at 200, just under 240,000, so we still have about 760,000 cats to go. We're getting there. We are getting there. Who are they fighting now? See, now it's the free traders fighting the United Cities. Like it's just wild. Stout is a violent city ran by a noble who's a Shek. I mean, I'm not going to make any wild claims here, but he's right. He's right. Coincidence? Probably. Alright, so the free traders are getting bopped now. Western Hive is here. I imagine it's only a matter of time before they start getting bopped, too. The Western Hive getting beaten up could honestly be fucking mint for us. That would be ideal. I do love when the Western Hive picks a fight. Yeah, Jesus Christ. They're still fighting Shinobi Thieves? Oh, no, it's all free traders. I wonder what the free traders did to piss them off now, too. So the Shinobi Thieves and the free traders are all getting beaten up now. I'm starting to feel... Don Tony McChicken greased some palms. This was by design, guys. I designed this. I did this. Don Tony McChicken did this. Greasing palms to take the eyes off of his many crimes. That's all it is. He's just greasing palms, keeping eyes off of him. Vey. What a mess. I like how just every United City has just devolved into full-on violence. Just blood in the streets. They're just beating everybody up for shits and giggles. Get bopped, son. This free trader's caravan guard is a juggernaut, so he's putting up one hell of a fight. Some of them guards have a long weapon. Yeah, no, that thing is wildly long. Honestly, it's kind of perfect for what they're doing. For, shutting down ne'er-do-wells and whatnot. This free trader juggernaut is going to put up a hell of a fight. He's got some... He's a beefy boy. He is not going to be able to continue that. Yeah, they're gonna put him down. Now they have an archer. Everyone's just bopping the shit out of him. Yeah. Only a matter of time. Damn. It's a Western Hive caravan, right? Yeah. It's funny, I don't. They say Western Hive is here, but I don't see any Western Hive drones running around, like soldier drones or anything like that. Caravan guards, none of that. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a single Western Hive soldier wandering around. It's all just the pack beasts, which is interesting to me. It's going to make it really hard to fulfill my end goal of raiding another caravan. Honestly, maybe Don should send some guys out and raid a couple of caravans. Couple Western Hive caravans. Go looking for them. Might be worth it financially. We are a mob after all. Mobs hitting a caravan. I feel like it kind of works. Kind of makes sense. Hit this thing up Red Dead style. Matt, you absolute fucking unit. Thank you once again, my lord. Oy vey, my dude. Since skeletons have alcohol in their purchase list, do they work off Futurama logic, or is this an oversight? Okay, so I think the going theory is that they use it as lubricant, like grog is lubricant, because they obviously can't drink it, but I think that they use it as lubricant. So rather than like operating and like running off of alcohol, I think they use it to keep themselves like it's like an anti-rust almost. They use it to keep themselves from falling apart. It's how they reset their memory. They don't drink to forget. They drink so they don't remember. Yeah, my assumption has always been that they use it as a lubricant. I don't think they drink it though, or maybe they do. Use it um as fuel. But I think that they operate mostly on like a computer system setup instead of I don't think they necessarily run off of like any kind of fluid like oil or anything like that. I think they use it as a lubricant though to prevent themselves from getting rusty. So like what is it? Instead of Futurama logic, think of it like if anybody's ever seen, it's an old ass movie, Robots. It had Ewan McGregor. It had Robin Williams. It had Amanda Bynes. It had fucking who else? Fuck, what's his name? Why can I not remember his name? Well, anyway, it had a bunch of people in it, robots. So they when they all take coffee and shit, instead of coffee, they get oil and they're just dumping it on themselves and using it like a lubricant, like a bath. They just grease themselves up. I imagine it's like that. They just like sit inside the bar and they're just dumping it on. Justin Long was in it too. I think Justin Long was in it, but that's not the one I was talking. That's not who I was referring to. No, Norm Macdonald. That's who it was. Norm Macdonald. That's who I was thinking of. It's had Norm Macdonald, Amanda Bynes, Robin Williams. It had fucking Ewan McGregor, which is always crazy. Um, yeah, it's weird to think that Obi-Wan was Rusty Copper Rusty Copperbottom on there. Obi-Wan Kenobi was the main character of Robots. Fun fact. I don't know if anybody noticed that. It took me a long time to realize that. Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi was in fact the voice for the protagonist of the movie Robots. Yeah. So anyway, I think that it operates on that principle. They use alcohol for that. I met Robin Williams on Bagrims. That's really cool. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I talked about this once before on another stream a long time ago, but there was only like 15 people on there at the time, so not many people know this. I'm going to preface this by saying I have literally no way to prove this to you guys. So please take this with a grain of salt. If you don't believe me, that's fine. I have no feasible way to prove this to you, other than explaining my own experiences. So my dad, who I have not spoken with in many years, which is part of the reason I unfortunately cannot prove this to you. My dad, and the fact that they don't have their house anymore. So, my dad was friends with George Carlin. And growing up, George Carlin used to pop over to the house once a year for dinner. And he would also send my dad tickets whenever he was in town. And so when I was growing up, once a year, I always thought it was interesting because what would happen is you know, some guy would pull up in a nicer car. I'm not a car guy, so I even when I was a kid, I wasn't really into cars, so I didn't have like a full grasp, but we pull up in like a nice old like Oldsmobile, and all the neighbors would come over and they'd all be taking pictures and shaking his hand. And I had no idea. I just knew that he was my dad's friend. And then they would sit up, we, you know, have a big dinner. And then we would sit, him and my dad would sit out on the porch and they would have like a couple of drinks and they'd shoot the shit and they'd smoke, you know, cigars and whatnot. And then he would leave. And that happened like once a year, and I had no idea what the deal was. I did not find out that that man was famous until I was 12 or 13 years old, after he had already died. When my brother-in-law, um, I went over to my sister's house, to her apartment at the time, and my brother-in-law had pulled up a George Carlin skit and was like, "I want to show you a new comedian." That like a new comedian that I've been watching recently, not a new comedian, but a new comedian for him that he'd been watching recently. And when he showed it to me, um, I was absolutely fucking flabbergasted to realize that the man that my dad used to hang out with on the front porch when I was a kid was George fucking Carlin. I had no idea. I had no idea. Unfortunately, by the time I came to that realization, I was already he had already passed. But um, yeah, so that was always something that I thought was really really cool. There's an old special, I guess, from a number of years ago when he did a show in like in the area where you know, my dad was living that he had been invited to. My dad he had worked a 20-hour shift beforehand, and my dad went to the show and he had a front row seat, and he had fallen asleep in the front row. And my dad's name is Matt. And so my dad had fallen asleep at the front row because he just worked a 20-hour shift, and George started heckling the shit out of him and went on a 20-minute rant yelling, "Matt, am I boring you?" Because my dad had fallen asleep in the front row. Um, funny thing. Show, not stream. How times have changed. Yeah, yeah. Times are different now. Things are weird now. But yeah, no. Always thought that was really cool, though. Always thought that was really cool. Oh man. All right. So how are we doing now in terms? Let's head back to the base. I think Don and them are up and moving now. Yeah. 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 All right. I moved out of New York a decade ago. Missed out on a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah. I've left and come back a few times. I've left and come back a few times. I spent a year in just under a year in Texas. Really enjoyed it there. I lived in a town called Red Oak, just outside Dallas at the time. Really nice little town. Nice people. Nice people. Little, yeah, they're nice people there. But I always enjoyed there. I wouldn't ever go back now. In recent years, you know, Texas hasn't been great, especially that area. But no, nice. Always thought it was a very nice area. I enjoyed living there. The weather was always really cooperative. Economy was nice. People were super friendly. But yeah, I've moved to a few different areas. I've left New York a few times, and I always end up coming back. Just frustrating because I hate the fucking cold. I hate the cold. It's literally my least favorite. One of my least favorite feelings, like, on the planet. Can't fucking stand it. Hate it. Hate it so much. But you know, what are you gonna do? Right, let's head on up here. You two, all of you guys, head on up here. We're gonna go make some more money. Now that we're just buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. I was stationed in Drum for 11 years, but born in Westchester, moved out west, loved the solitude out here. Yeah, the wife wants to move to like Massachusetts. She's got friends out there, and she's trying to convince because we're looking to buy another house. Um, shortly here. We were looking, and then we had to pause for a little while, but we're look. She wants to move to like Massachusetts or something, and I'm still on the fence about it. I'm like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I was hoping to maybe get somewhere where there wasn't fucking winters anymore. I'm sick of the winters. I'm sick of the cold. I hate the cold. I am so anti-cold. I hate the cold so fucking much. Alright, we're gonna go sell this stuff. Make some money. Money, money. I don't hate the cold as much as I hate mosquitoes. Mosquitoes never really bother me. Like, literally, they don't bother me. Like, I don't really get bit by them that often. They just tend to leave me alone, which is pretty cool. Also, I'm what you would refer to as a shut-in, and I don't really like leaving the house much anyway, so what does it really fucking matter, aside from, like having a fight? I'm not actually a shut-in, I just am a homebody. I leave for, like, work and stuff, and, like, I go to events and shit like that, but outside that, like, I just prefer to stay home. It's cozier. I got all my partying and stuff out when I was a teenager. I'm just not really interested in going out and doing that kind of stuff anymore. Other than, like, like, going to friends' events and stuff when I'm invited, or if they're doing something, like, I tend to just stay home. Cozier. It's comforting. Nice. Or if we go to get the kids out of the house, because obviously, like, they're not old enough to make that choice yet of whether or not they want to be, if they want to be a homebody or not. So we try to give them the option, get them out of the house a lot when we get the chance to let them go out and experience stuff and socialize and all that stuff. But aside from that, I tend to just stay home. I don't know. I prefer to be home. Comforting. It's cozy. I don't mind it. I spent too many years working out in the cold, so I'm gonna move south when I'm done working. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Again, I just hate the cold. it's it's awful. I also have a bunch of like metal and pins and plates and stuff in my in my right leg. And so when it gets really cold, like my leg just fucking kills. It feels like it's, like super achy and like someone's jamming an ice pick through my kneecap. Like the cold is not great. Ever since I had surgery, not great. The byproduct of having metal in the leg. The cold just doesn't agree with it. Usually in the winter months, I'm chewing ibuprofen like fucking candy because of it. Quite frustrating, actually, but is what it is, you know? We make do. We make do. Wrapping your leg, motorcycle jump. That's what it was. That's what it was. Someone asked me if I was going to jump the shark, and I took it a little too literally. No, when I was a teenager, I took a lacrosse ball to the kneecap at 95 miles an hour and shattered my kneecap, and then I never got it properly treated because a combination of irresponsible parentage and I'm a young dodo who thought I was invincible. And after a couple of years, it ended up healing over with an excessive amount of scar tissue that caused me to have to use a cane to walk from the time that I was like just before I turned 16, so like 15, 16-ish until I was 18 when I could have surgery to get it corrected. So I walked with a cane for a handful of years, unfortunately. And then when I was 18, I had surgery to get it fixed. Yeah, I took a lacrosse ball to the knee. I had surgery to get fixed. They took out 20% of my kneecap. They removed a bunch of ligaments and tendons. They snapped my shin bone, and then put a plate back together, put it back together with a plate and some pins to make it tighter. What is it? I think they said they did an osteotomy, a fulcrum adjustment, a lateral release, and one other thing all at once. And so I'm able to walk unassisted now, and I'm able to exercise and do stuff. I still can't run on concrete, unfortunately. The impact of running on concrete causes it feels like I'm being tased in my shin. Like it feels like my shin's gonna snap in half. And on occasion, my knee gives out. And as I get older, it gives out more and more because by the time I'm 35, I'm gonna have to have a full knee replacement. And then, in addition to that, cold weather really sucks. And uh, yeah, I mean, there's definitely issues with it, but I'm just, happy to not have to use the can anymore. It was really frustrating, admittedly. At first it was one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, like it's kind of quirky. It's what, you don't really care too much. It's never great, but you don't really care too much. You kind of get over it. You get past it. Um, Unfortunately, you learn real quick that it's kind of ass actually, because you can't even, when you're like 16, 17 years old and you have to walk with a fucking cane, you can't even go sit down and have a meal somewhere without some fucking asshole staring at you like you're a fucking like a cyborg. Really obnoxious, sitting in the middle of McDonald's or something with a buddy of mine, and you hear some fucking 12-year-old be like, "What's wrong with him?" I'm like, "Nothing's wrong with me. My leg doesn't fucking work. Fuck off." So that was always really frustrating. It made me pretty bitter too for a while, but thankfully that was 10 years ago that I got that fixed, and things have been pretty good since then. But eventually, I will have to have the thing completely replaced, and it gets closer and closer every year. So that's not something I'm particularly excited for, but when it happens, it happens. When it happens, it happens. I used to be an adventurer like all of you, and I took a lacrosse ball to the knee. It's good that you're planning for it. Yeah, they told me I was gonna have to have a full replacement by the time by the time I turned 35, and then they said after that, with advances in technology, I probably won't have to have another one until I'm in my 60s, and then that'll probably be the last one I ever have. I'll probably die with that one. I made that way more morbid than it needed to be. I didn't mean for it to be that morbid, but anyway, yeah. So that's yeah. Is what it is. Is what it is. It's my life. What are you gonna do? But because of that, the whole point of that little tirade there is to express that I hate the cold because it causes me great pain. Causes me great pain. All right, so we're sitting at 363,000 cats. So we're quickly approaching the halfway point, that 500,000. Once we get to 1 million, I think that's it. Honestly, I think we may be able to end. I think the new Nugget Mafia may come to an end within the next 2-3 episodes tops. Excuse me. Ow, that hurt. Universal Wasteland Expanded or Genesis? Universal Wasteland Expanded. Genesis deviates too far from Kenshi, in my opinion. I used to use it a lot. If you watch a lot of my earlier videos, like my Origins of the Hybrid video, my Origins of the Shek video, all of those, you'll see that I was using Genesis at the time, and I used it because I liked what it did with the cities, and it made the cities feel grander and bigger and gave for better footage for like B-roll footage and stuff. However, in recent years, I felt that Genesis started to like not look like Kenshi anymore, and it started to look a little cartoony. It started to have a couple of mods and stuff in there that I felt were just a little too anime, a little too big, a little too like boisterous, like giant weapons that are bigger than your character. What is it, like a giant battle axe or a giant chainsaw weapon that's bigger than your character, or a fucking keyblade and stuff like that, and like. That's cool, but it doesn't feel like Kenshi anymore, and I like my overhauls for things like that anyway, like Project Cthulhu being an exception. I like my overhauls to still feel like Kenshi, like I still want it to feel like Kenshi. I like Vanilla Plus, things that add to the experience, not things that change it entirely, with the exception of like certain things like Star Wars overhauls and stuff like that. So I prefer Universal Wasteland Expanded over Genesis, in my personal opinion. I think both are good. But I think in recent years, UWE has overtaken Genesis significantly. Prior to Genesis, I also played Blood and Sand. I don't know how well that's gone, but I don't know how well Blood and Sand has gone, or if it's stayed adapted or anything like that. Opinions on Kaizo. I heard it was Reactive World Plus. I don't know much about Kaizo. unfortunately. I have to look into it a little bit. It's not one that I've played with too much. When Kaizo started dropping is around the time I started making my own load order and like started compiling my own collection. And so I just don't I don't have the experience with Kaizo. As I have never really played with it. What are you doing, man? Why are you not doing nothing? Just standing there aimlessly? Come on, do something. I personally don't like building settlements so much as saving broken ones like Morn and the Hub. No, that's fair. That's fair. That's totally fair. I think building settlements is a unique thing that not everyone is super into. And I get it, which is one of the reasons I like Kenshi, is because it allows you to do so many different things, so many different types of things. You know, they really allow for a lot of different things. In a way that I think a lot of different games don't do. Like it's funny because one of the things I hate is when a game tries to do too many things at once that it lacks an identity, right? It tries to be a survival game and a first-person shooter and an RPG and an RTS all at the same time. Kenshi, though, is one of the few games that I think does it in a way that is enjoyable, where it kind of is a little bit of everything. It can be a survival game, it can be an RTS, it can be a base builder, and instead of forcing you into all of those mechanics and not really doing any of them well, I like that it lets you choose which ones you want to actually do, and then it fleshes out those mechanics in a way that actually works. You know, it doesn't try to do too much and not do it well enough. It doesn't try to be a jack of all trades, master of none. Instead, it just says, hey, we have a lot of features here. They're fleshed out, and you don't have to do any of them, or you can do all of them. The choice is yours, you know? Yeah, the trick is to have everything, but make everything optional. Exactly. The minute they start forcing you to do other things is when... the minute they start forcing you to do too many things is when things start to get a little murky, a little muddy. And stop working as well, in my opinion. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so this shop looks like it's working out way better already. Yeah, okay, so we're going to grab the rest of our inventory, I think, from the other side there, and we're going to move it over. Hell yeah. Move, Grink, move. Nice. It's a charcuterie board of features. That's exactly what it is. That's the best way to describe it. You nailed it. It's a charcuterie board of features. Tons of dust switches, because these are poor people, apparently. They can't afford nothing. Yeah, I think at the current rate that we're moving, we may be able to finish up the Nugget Mafia within the next probably 2 episodes, and then it'll be on the Project Cthulhu, which I am both saddened and excited about because I am really hyped about the Project Cthulhu run. I've been like hyping myself up more and more about it. I think it's gonna be a ton of fun. I'm also gonna record it. Unlike, you know, one of the things I've been failing to do in my Dwarf series and in this playthrough is recording it at the same time that I'm streaming it. And so what I want to do with the Project Thunder is I'm actually going to record it, and then I'm going to take the VOD for it and break that down and make a long form video as well for people who want to be able to easily catch up without having to watch, you know, five-hour VODs. Like if you wanted to watch the Dwarf series from beginning to end, it's 90 hours, which is cool for me from like an ad revenue perspective, but like I don't want to make people watch 90 hours of content. That feels like not okay. Not only does it feel not okay or not feasible, but also like it just feels rude to do that. I'd much rather condense down, you know, if it's a 4-hour VOD and I can condense it down into a 10-minute episode or a 10-minute video, or I could take, you know, the 5 VODs, you know, I record 5 episodes and condense those down into, if I can condense 5 VODs down into, a half an hour episode, rather than 25 hours, I would much rather do that and then put out, if it's a, say, 50 episode series, I'd rather drop 10 episodes or 10 episodes as long form for people to catch up on and be able to catch up on in a lot shorter time. So it'll be cool. It'll be cool. The VODs will still be up if people wanted to watch the whole thing, but the condensed version will be there as well. That's only like 4 days of continuous watching or like a month and a half of sitting in traffic. That's what I'm saying. Out of unique recruits, aside from Beep and Agnew, who would be your first pick for a solo RP playthrough? Griffin or Ruka? Yeah, I think Griffin or Ruka. Yeah. I like Ruka as a character, but I really like Griffin's character. I think he's really, really cool. And I think that his perspective is really cool. I think that Griffin would make a really interesting like paladin playthrough. Not Holy Nation paladin. I mean like a literal paladin, like a traveling priest or like a traveling paladin that goes around Kenshi solo and just like helps people. Like that's what he does, right? Like he's a traveling priest who travels around Kenshi, and he's not forcing his religion on people or trying to be like a missionary to spread the word of his god, but instead is just like a traveling priest who is more interested in going around helping Kenshi, like people on Kenshi. He's there for the acts of service, not for the devote, not like for the devotion or the proselytizing or anything like that. I think is Griffin is the ideal. It would be a really cool character for that. I think Griffin would be a really fucking cool character for that. So, Griffin all the way. Double rainbow all the way. Fucking dating myself with that reference. All right, so Grink is here. Good shop, 371. All right, let's head back to you. What are we doing? Doing okay. We're doing okay. Waiting for the tax man to get to the base. He's never really antagonizing to any skeletons from your group. I find that cool. Yeah, Griffin, in my opinion, is the ideal of what the Holy Nation should strive to be. He's interested in learning about the truth about the past. He's not interested in the metaphorical or allegorical. He's interested in learning the truth while still having that religious mentality. Like he's like, I believe in Oghren, but I know and like I believe like in all of the spirituality and the teachings of Oghren, but there's more. I know there's more, and I need to dig beneath the theoretical, beneath the all of that stuff, and I need to like come to the truth about what the world's history is, because ultimately, he recognizes that his religion has been altered and that things are being kept from them, and he thinks that like in order to like truly serve Oghren, he needs to understand the religion as it was supposed to be, not what it has become. And I think that that's an admirable goal. Both from like a writing, like a lore perspective, but also just like from a character perspective. Like it's a cool, interesting character. Oh man, fucking Hybers. Yeah, I think it's a cool goal. So if I had to pick one character to solo Kenshi with, I would pick Griffin. I think you could do a really cool like paladin build with him, and yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with Griffin. A lot of potential with Griffin. Hey, man. Need to get Cosmic a better backpack. Has anybody got a trading backpack that's not being used? Is that Hyber still out here? Hell yeah. Oh no. What's about to happen? About to take that fucking backpack. About to take that fucking backpack is what we're gonna do. Shoot him. Take him down. Take down the Garu too. Fuck him. Fuck them all. They fleeing? They're fleeing. Bastards. Alright, it's fine. We got the backpack. That's all that really mattered. Give that backpack to Cosmic. Because the one that he has on right now is not doing him any favors in terms of production for straw flour, which is the main issue we're having. God damn, that noise is annoying. Alright. Take your money too. Take your lantern, because you don't need a lantern. No lantern for you. Jake is 49. God damn, Matt, you're an absolute animal, man. Absolute fucking animal. Gave me an idea for a what if episode. What if the Holy Nation found out about Catlon? That is an interesting idea, and I actually may put together. So I'm working on a really large project, right? A very large project. Two very large projects right now. I will add it to the docket though, because that is a very interesting concept. They know about him, right? I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Not many people actually know Catlon is still around. There's actually dialogue in the game that indicates that the only ones that know for sure that Catlon is still alive in the Ashlands are the other skeletons, who they don't know that he's in the Ashlands. They just know he's not dead. There's books that are like basically they're like Catlon vanished, but there's no way that he's dead. Like people like him don't die; they just disappear. Like they kind of give him like the whole Spartans never die; they're just missing in action kind of thing. And it also is like heavily implied that so the only people that know for certain about it is the other skeletons and the Bugmaster. They're the only ones that know that he's even around still. Everyone else just knows that like he's probably alive, but he's MIA. So no, they don't know that he's there. Just like the Tin Fist too. No, Tin Fist might know, but we don't know for certain. Tin Fist is too insane and too focused on his mission to tell us either way. So that'd be pure speculation. He might, but we don't know. We don't know. In terms of, it's like the Holy Nation doesn't even know that the Black Desert City's there, right? Granted, like most people don't know the Black Desert City is there. Like in lore, I've had people ask me before, like, why doesn't the Holy Nation like march on the Black Desert City where the skeletons are? One, the Black Desert City functions a lot like, it functions a lot like the. I'm sorry, how much did I just put? Did I just put one in there? Does that not stack wheat straw? Bro, you need to stack this wheat straw. You don't take one, you take all of it. What are you doing, man? Fucking gooning around over here, taking one at a time. What's wrong with you? So the skeletons in the like they remark. We as people, as players, go to the Black Desert City often. And we do it because it's, from a gameplay perspective, not that difficult. It's acid rain, all that stuff, It's one of those things where you have to separate a gameplay feature from the lore. It's like population in games. Population shows that it's, a lot of cities and stuff have a lot more people in them than what you see in the game because of game engine limitations. Again, the example that I always use is like, look at Skyrim. Whiterun is supposed to be a town that has thousands of people in it. In game, we see like 20. And we have to have that suspension of disbelief because in the understanding that it's a gameplay mechanic, it's a gameplay feature, and that feature is implemented due to engine limitations. And so in the same way, Black Desert City, we go to it often as players because it's there and we can go to it. But in the lore, no one goes there. Firstly, when Black Desert City, when the skeletons exiled themselves after the fall of the Second Empire, like after the Empire rotted out and a lot of the skeletons that had, sided with Catlon for the purpose of trying to make up for what they had done in the past, when they left, they said, you know what, we We almost ended humanity once. We tried to get it right, and we fucked it up. We tried to make up for it and fix it, and we fucked it up again. And the best of us, our hero Catlon, ended up falling to madness. So if he couldn't do it, what hope do we have? And they exiled themselves to the Black Desert. Now, a lot of the Black Desert, not all of it, right? But a lot of this area was underwater during the Second Empire. So think about it. The Black Desert right now is raining perpetual acid rain. During the Second Empire, all the Black Desert City was an island in the center of a massive lake of acid. Like, no one thought that anything was there. No one thought that people were there. It also scale the Black Desert City. If you scaled it up to the size it probably is in lore, it would be days upon days in acid rain. Yeah, it's a hellscape. No one's going there. No one's going there. And so because of that, the Holy Nation probably doesn't even know that they're there. They probably have no idea that they're even there. So, it's one of those things where like we have to suspend our disbelief. Yeah, we kind of have to suspend our disbelief a little bit, So, yeah. I wonder why the acid rain is only in that one place and never stops. I imagine that it's probably due to something that happened during the First Empire. The Black Desert looked like it was a place of heavy mining. All of the patterns in the iron, like in the iron sands up here and everything, are very consistent with strip mining. And these look like strip mines. These look like really large strip mines. And I imagine the Black Desert is a very similar thing. Like it was just heavily, heavily used for mining. I imagine most of this area used to just be straight up iron. There's pipes in there that indicate they were pumping out like oils and stuff as well. This place was just heavily industrialized. They were doing tons of strip mining with machines and stuff. And the likely answer is that they just polluted this area so extremely and so quickly that it's just caught in a perpetual state of acid rain, where the ground became toxic, it evaporates up, and then it rains straight back down as toxic rain, and then rains straight back up, and then comes back down as toxic rain. Like it's just in a perpetual cycle of absorption, of evaporation and raining toxic acid. So I think that this area was a heavy area of mining. Again, this pattern here, all along through here, is all consistent with really aggressive strip mining, really aggressive mining operations, very targeted mining operations too. And then obviously, like now, a lot of it's smoothed out and it's a little bit less apparent because years upon years of water erosion and that kind of stuff have made it even made it less sharp. But this area very likely used to be very jagged, less smooth, all of that stuff, but very, very easily an area of heavy mines. Also, doesn't the floor literally melt your feet without shoes? Yeah, yeah, because it's all acid slag. It's all melted stone and material and shit covered in acid rain. Like it's all slag. It's the other thing too is that if when you're running through the Black Desert, if you listen to the sound that's coming out of the ground as you're running, it sounds wet. It's literally an acid swampland. It's not even motherfucker. Yeah, it's an acid swampland. It's not even seriously. What do you think Narcos Trap was? In terms of like what the original purpose of the building is, I'm not sure. In terms of like what did they use it for now? They use it to store dangerous technology. I imagine it was like a research facility or something along those lines. It's kind of hard to say offhand what it is, but just based on the stuff that's in there and the kind of tech that's in there and whatnot, it was probably a research facility. It could have even been like one of the areas that was doing the testing on humans or something along those lines. We're not really sure. You know, the idea being Narco's trap, you go in and then, you know, you're trapped by the forces of Narco, and then obviously, you know, you're experimented on and whatever happens there. It could be something like that, but it's kind of hard to say. It's kind of hard to say. The hell are you? Oh, I see. That is a pygmy bot. That's what that shit is. Pygmy bot. It could have been a Nike sweatshop, too. It could have very well been a Nike sweatshop, too. You know? It's very well possible, based on all the indications that we have. You know, there's a swoosh when you go in there. It's very well possible that it could have been a Nike sweatshop. You know? Very, very possible. It could have also been a Kardashian, you know, what is it, a tequila facility by one of the Kardashians. You know, that's possible, too. So, you know, you never know. You never know. Narco's actually a shoe brand in the first Empire. That's what it was. Narco was actually just a shoe brand. First time I came across it, I thought it was a clever ploy by the Holy Nation to catch people looking for ancient science books. Yours makes more sense, though. So my original thought was that it was like the first thought that I had when I saw it was that it was like it was a place that they would trap skeletons, like they would, because before I had gone into it, like when I just saw the name, I was like, oh, it's going to be a prison for skeletons, right? Like it's going to be a prison camp for skeletons specifically, because like obviously they send Shaq and they send Hivers and all that stuff over to Rebirth, but skeletons are different because skeletons don't get to be reborn because they're machines, they're technology run amok. You know, they're evil creatures that are incapable of being purified the way that the Shek and the Hivers can be through hard work and rebirth. So I thought, oh, it's probably going to be like a skeleton prison or something, right? And then I get there and it's just all research materials and it's all high technology and it's all this like advanced tech and stuff like that. And I was like, oh shit, no, this is probably like a facility that is so yeah, it's either them like hoarding technology for the sake of preventing people from getting it, like it's where they store dangerous technology, or it's a facility that at some point in their history had some large significance. Hi, still only on the fourth video in this series, but I saw you were online and wanted to say it's great. I love the lore stuff. Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. I appreciate you stopping by. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please do feel free to ask. Obviously, I love talking about the lore, and I love answering questions and interacting with everybody. So, yeah, any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I try to be as interactive as possible. It's like one of my things, part of my brand. Holy Nation is the Brotherhood of Steel parallel. Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I said technology run amok, because of the Brotherhood of Steel parallels. I mean, they're kind of like the Brotherhood of Steel, specifically specifically Arthur Maxon's Brotherhood of Steel, because there are obviously multiple chapters of the Brotherhood that all function differently. The West Coast and East Coast Brotherhoods function differently. One's isolationist, one's fully anti-tech, one's you know, more about what is it? The Lion's Pride Brotherhood of Steel at the time was more about charity and social, you know, social interaction and all that stuff. So they don't use the tech; they secure, though. That's true. That's true. That's true. But it wouldn't be the first time that Kenshi's taken parallels from Fallout. I mean, Shark is based on the New Vegas Strip and the multiple the multiple mafia gangs that control New Vegas in Fallout New Vegas. So I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they've taken inspiration from Fallout. Ask any question that isn't stupid, and if you believe there are no stupid questions, then you've never asked before. If you know the Muffin Man 57 times in a row. I wish that my voice wasn't so fucked up, or else I'd do the Muffin Man thing from Shrek. I love real diplomacy in Kenshi too. I agree. I agree. I agree. I love not just real diplomacy, but I love diplomacy. Maybe like a simpler version because obviously it doesn't need to be this scaled up. But like, I like the diplomacy in like the Civ games or in the Total War games. And I think like a very simplified version of that would be cool in Kenshi too, where you can be like, hey, my faction will provide you with, 5,000 cats a week for 2 months, and in exchange you send, um, you'll attack this other city. Like that would be really cool. And then you could use that to help like create, dynamically change world states via economy, like through economic means. Because I'm really big on the ability to in Kenshi too. I really hope that you can alter world states via economics. Like the ability to properly utilize economics to alter the world is something that I really hope to see. I really hope to see. Got to keep on building these food cubes so we can go sell them, get more money. We're almost at that 500,000 mark, and if we get there, I think we will honestly be able to end this series next episode. Get to 1,000,000 cats, and then boom, Don Tony McChicken's living it, baby. I will trade with you, pay you 5 cats a week if you join my war with the Holy Nation. Yeah, literally, like it's something simple, something like that would be really cool. Or the ability to form trade routes. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Even like something as simple with the trade routes of being like, hey, I want to be added onto your trade route list. And in exchange, again, we'll pay you like X percentage or X amount every week. And as a byproduct of that, you'll send caravans over to our base to for the purposes of trade, and all that stuff. Like there's a lot that can be done. There's a what? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Don, we have a situation up here. We have a situation. Just a random Holy Nation dude just sitting up on my walls. I hope to make it where factions actually think about it if they are weak or strong against in the moment it do full scale wars. I agree. I agree. We're gonna bop this dude. We're gonna absolutely mess him up. Absolutely battered him like a fucking fish stick. He was supervising. There's Roman armor and weapons mod if you want to play Kenshi as Caesar's Legion. Hint, hint. I have seen the Caesar's Legion armor mod too, which is one of my favorite ones. It adds a bunch of the armor sets from the Caesar's Legion, including the Legate armor. Not the Legate armor. Fuck, what is it? I can't remember the golden armor. I can't remember its name. But anyway, so it adds that in, and it's really fucking cool. It's really fucking cool. There's another Holy Nation Crusader just hanging out up here. On the upside, Dragon, even though he's not here, will be stoked to find out that Rex is going to get his Paladin's Cross, I suppose. The Centurion armor? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've played New Vegas, so you guys are going to have to bear with my ignorance. Holy Crusader armor. Honestly, he's got the unholy armor, but the Holy Crusader armor kind of looks fire. Kind of looks fire. Put that on, see how that looks. It probably looks fire. Honestly, it kind of looks fire. Kind of looks fire. Kind of looks fire. It might be the Legate armor. It might be the Legate armor. Yeah. So anyway, there's an armor mod that adds in a bunch of the armors from the Caesar's Legion for Fallout New Vegas. It's really cool. I used it on a Czech playthrough that I did one time. I made like an exiled Czech faction where they used the armor from New Vegas, and then their leader was this giant, like massive fucking Czech wearing Legate armor. And I thought it looked really fucking cool. I'm gonna save it. The Grey Targaryen Kingsguard armor in from Game of Thrones would look amazing in Kenshi. I agree. There's a lot of armor and stuff that would look really fucking cool in Kenshi. There's a lot of Dragon Age Inquisition armor, or not Inquisition, just Dragon Age armor in general, armor that would look really fucking cool in Kenshi, and there is some that have been imported, but I think more should be imported. I would need someone pronto to hop on putting the Legion of the Dead armor in Kenshi. That's what I fucking need, because we already have the Templar armor. We have all 3 variations of the Templar armor from Dragon Age. What I need is the Legion of the Dead, or at the very least the Dwarven armor, because to be honest, if the Dwarven armor or the Legion of the Dead armor was present in Kenshi, like if there was a mod for that, I would have used that in my Dwarf playthrough instead of the Imperial armor, hands down. Dude, I would have made an army. I would have made an army that was using the Legion of the Dead armor in a heartbeat, or the Dwarven armor, and then I would have given Legion of the Dead to. I would have given Legion of the Dead to the king and his nobles, and I would have given normal Dwarven armor to the others. But yeah, dude, oof, so good, so good. Get in here, buy stuff. Yeah, spend your money. You fucking fool, spend your money. Spend all your monies. Is there a way to get the Reaver armor blueprints in Vanilla Kenshi? I am not actually sure. That's the Hackstopper armor, isn't it? Right? That's the Hackstop armor. I'm not actually sure. Maybe from the Black Desert City, or maybe from the from Ark. I'm not totally sure, to be honest with you. I'm not 100 on that. Not 100. Excuse me. All right. How are we looking on our supply? Still working on it. Still working on it. Slave Raid should be here any minute now. That's going to be annoying. It is the Hackstopper armor, yeah. Yeah, or maybe the Black Scratch Library. Yeah, there's a couple places that it might be. Offhand, I'm not sure, though. Offhand, I am simply not sure. Defense. Harpoon Mark II. I need ancient science books. Ultimate defensive walls. Wow. Just need strong defensive walls. Should probably get on that at some point. Keep upping the walls of this place. Make the place even better. How are we doing on green fruit production? I think we're fine. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. We have a shit ton of green fruit, to be honest. We are loaded up. I wish that I could get this much. Honestly, we have so much green fruit that I think I'm actually going to dismantle these rear green fruit. Oh, shit. Am I about to crash? No. Okay. Whew. We have so much green fruit that I think I'm going to dismantle these rear green fruits. And I'm going to make a few more wheat straws. Yeah, because we need wheat straw for sure. So I'm gonna dismantle these and make some farming. Hydroponic wheat straw. Character out of the way. Hydroponic wheat straw. Fantastic. Okay, so we'll get these built up. Electrical components. I think we have a couple of these still here, right? Yeah, we have a couple of electrical components. We got Barkler's head still in here, which I never ended up doing anything with. I always intended to, but we never did. Slave raid here yet? Not quite. Kenshi, we're gonna send you out there. Come on, big guy. You're gonna be holding the line at the beginning here. Ow. Lamellar armor is what I would wear. I think Japanese ancient armors utilize lamellar, and the Mongols too. Indeed. Indeed. I'd like to see armor from other cultures end up in Kenshi too. Like, we already have, like, the early medieval era, like, Crusader-style armor from the Holy Nation. We have, obviously, samurai art, like, makeshift samurai armor from the United Cities and stuff. But I'd like to see other types of, like, interesting armor pop in. Like, I'd like to see proper Roman armor. Like Roman Legionnaire armor and stuff. I'd like to see just other armors from around the world. I think would be really, really cool. I think it'd be badass. I think it would be right fucking cool. I'd like to see some, like, more Chinese inspiration in some of the armor in, like, certain spots too. I think that would be really cool. I really like the some of the ornateness of Chinese armor. I think that'd be really badass. Where's the slave raid at? There's part of it. Right? Yeah, that's the war leader. So he's going to come up. We're going to kick his ass. Because he's going to run in solo like a dumb shit. Yeah, yeah. And then Kenshi's going to bat him. He's going to batter him like a fish stick. Early Korean armor? Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Imposter? What do you mean imposter? But some of my guys wearing armor from them? I don't think they are. Oh, yeah. Hodges. I had Hodge steal it. That's funny. Screamed imposter at him. You fool. Your mistake was running in here alone. And he got pin-cushioned. You mentioned that the tech level will be higher in Kenshi 2. Do you think that the armor will reflect that? I think to a degree, yeah. It's not going to be a lot higher. It's not going to be, like, significantly higher. It is going to be elevated, though. The tech level will be elevated up slightly. And I think the armor will reflect that. Even in some of the screenshots that we've gotten, the very few screenshots or concept art that we've gotten from Kenshi 2, the armor looks elevated. It looks a little bit more intricate, a little bit more detailed, a little bit less like scrap plates stacked on top of each other, and a little bit more like properly molded armor, you know? And I think that is, I think that that's going to be reflected. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be good. World War I style flak jackets if they're basic firearms. Dude, I would be down. So I hope that we get things like cannons on the walls. And I hope that we get siege equipment, like the ability to bring siege equipment to bases and stuff to destroy walls, ladders. Like, I want base sieges to feel more devastating instead of just like, oh, they run at your wall, they run at your gate, and that's that. Instead, I want it to feel more devastating. I want it to be scarier. I want them to be able to scale your walls, destroy your walls. I want them to rush in more strategically, like... Kenji, what the fuck, man? He ended up clipping himself right through the other side. So dumb. He was supposed to be out there to fight, and he ended up clipping himself to the other side. So dumb. Yeah, siege. I think siege ladders will be really fucking cool. I think even like things like fucking trebuchets would be fire. I think there's so much potential. Yeah, I think that sieges need a full overhaul. I think like from top to bottom, sieges need a full overhaul. Sand Ninja at the same time. Oy vey. That's what happens when you deal with clankers. Always clipping through stuff. Listen, Kenshi is best clanker, alpha clanker right here. Yeah, ram at the gates. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think at the very least, and I have no confirmation of this, but you know, we know that they're gonna be implementing some kind of like special feature, right? Like that's been the whole thing. We also know that Rumble John, what the fuck, man? We also know they're going to be implementing some kind of special feature, like they won't talk about, they haven't talked about. We also know that there's going to be, Rumble John's stuck. Oh my god, Crumble John's going to get fucking decimated because of that. It's fine. Kenji, head on out here, bud. So we know that there's going to be like some kind of special feature. We also know that there's going to be a ranged rework, and they didn't tell us what the ranged rework is going to look like. They just said that ranged combat is going to be have more of a focus. It's not going to be the focus, right? Like they were very clear that like, you know, sword combat is still going to be primary. Like melee combat is still the primary form of combat. They just made a point to mention that sword combat, I mean, that ranged combat will be overhauled to be more viable and have more of a focus in the grand scheme. And so my hope is that that means we're going to be getting a cover system, like an actual, like a take cover and utilizing cover system. What that means to me is that we would be able to effectively, like force people out of their bases because we could take cover. Like we could set up strategic blockades outside of someone's base, like outside of their gates, and take cover so that way the harpoons have a harder time hitting us, and we are forced to have people leave the base, and that means that you end up having more fights in the fields outside of your base, and it ends up making sieges feel far different because you're forced outside of your base. Because right now, if you build up strong enough harpoons and stuff, you never have to leave. You know, late game sieges become more of a pain in the ass than anything else. And I think that having both A, ladders, and B, a cover system for range combat fixes that almost entirely. The ability to scale walls and the ability to take cover and shoot over cover, it would change everything. I think it would change everything. Combat would change significantly. While still having a melee focus, it would make range combat incredibly viable. And again, it would overhaul a lot of the persistent issues with sieges. What's Longstout doing over here? Is he starving yet? Probably not. He's getting there, but he is a jacked man though. He's at 44 strength. My god. My guy's thick like a fucking Snickers. I, however, can confidently say that I don't think we're going to get normal bows. I don't believe that that's going to be the direction that we go. More food to sell. Eight food cubes should be enough to top over. Good. Nice, nice. Guns, if guns, probably just basic muskets. I personally, so I don't think we're gonna get guns, but if we did get guns, it's probably, yeah, like James said, basic muskets. Flintlock weapons, like single shot weapons, things that are very rudimentary. Like we're not gonna be running around with like AKs or like Uzis or you know, anything like that. Like it's gonna be very basic muskets, very basic flintlock pistols, flintlock rifles, single shot, maybe 1 or 2 shots at most, very inaccurate kinds of guns. You know, the hope is that it's going to end up being Big Nug, why are you out here, dude? No one fucking asked you. No one fucking asked you. The hope is that it's going to be like, root and tooty, point and shooty is the word that I used on a short one day about it. It's going to be very much like, you fire off 1 or 2 rounds with your flintlock, and then you engage in melee combat with your sword. It's an introduction to the battle rather than the battle itself. And I think that's, if guns were introduced, that's probably what they would end up doing for the sake of both balancing, but also just like, it just makes more sense that way, in terms of the lore and all of that stuff. So, and it would explain it wouldn't make sense that in the last 1,000 years, if there was guns before, that guns have completely disappeared. It would make sense if there was really shoddy rudimentary firearms that over the last 1,000 years they just stopped working, or they stopped being produced, or people stopped doing them. They weren't, because technology has declined since then, but not a lot. It has declined a little bit. Yeah, pistol grip crossbows would be cool, like a hand crossbow. That would be cool too. Dual wielding hand crossbows in Kenshi 2. Gear up, everybody. Dual wielding hand crossbows, Kenshi 2, confirmed. Except not confirmed. Whatever the opposite of confirmed is. I hope you're excited. Whatever the opposite of confirmed is, that's what we have. Breaking news. Excuse me. What's Ruka doing? She's doing. She's trying her best. She's putting up a fight. She's doing good. That big-ass katana of hers is working out well. I forgot what anime it was, but they specifically used advanced crossbows, were basically railguns, and they just shot spikes that looked like square guns. I don't know what it was. That's a good question. That sounds interesting. It sounds familiar, but I don't know. Kenshi, get out here, dude. We got places to be. Don, really not the time for... Don. Really not the time for a fucking... a victory scream. Did you guys see that shit? Instead of, Oh my god. He literally just decided to do like a fucking... a battle cry in the middle of the fight. Which is like, A, badass, but also... Not the time, dude. Not the time. Not the time. My lord, man. Get it together. You're supposed to be a professional, damn it. Instead, you're here curled up in the fetal position. He thought he was him. My dude thought he was John Kenshi instead of Tony McChicken. Blood loss knockout on both of them. Fuck me. Alright, I guess Kenji's gonna have to stay here and protect us from slavers for a little while. Yeah, my guy thought that he was John Kenshi. Turns out he's Don Tony McChicken. Alright, now get up. Wake up. There you go. I like how the mercenary guild here just took over this little, like this was a Reaver, little Reaver out bandit camp, a Blood Raider bandit camp, and then the mercenaries just decided that it's theirs now. Belongs to them now. Funny. Alright, definitely not John Helldiver. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My dude failed the test. He failed the test. All right, we're gonna wait. We'll just pick her up. It's fine. And we are off to Stout. Huzzah! Sent the stuff in the Discord. Basically, stuff like that at the top tier would be Ancient and Lost. Find out. Hold on. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be. Yeah, that would be it. That would be it. That would probably be gone. Oh my god. Sometimes I see a comment that people leave, and I'm just like, "What are you talking about, man?" Some people just want to be angry. Uh, Someone just commented on one of my videos and was like, "It's a great game. Too bad the devs abandoned it to make a new one to make more money." I'm like, "What are you talking about? None of that's true. None of that's true. None of that's true. Out of your mind. You're talking out your ass. Bet you wish you brought sleeping bags, eh? Nope. No, I do not, Logic. No, I do not. At no point have I ever wished that. They spent 10 plus years on it, right? Well, yeah, literally, they spent 12 years on it total. And the problem is they've openly said a ton of times that the only reason that the bugs that are in the game that exist currently are there is because in order to fix them, it would require an engine that is more optimized, because in fixing the bugs that are there currently, they make tons of new bugs because of the way the engine is. It's all engine limitations. Like, what are you talking about? No one abandoned anything. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. Talking out your bum, man. Talking out your bum. You're just saying shit. You're just saying shit. Bugs on bugs on bugs. Yeah, I don't know. People would much rather hop on the hype train, on the hate train, than like be patient with people. Also, like, I have had very few bugs. The worst bug I've ever experienced in Kenshi, dead ass, the worst bug I've ever experienced is the Sand Ninja Oni not spawning in this playthrough. I've been playing Kenshi for thousands of hours, thousands upon thousands of hours. I have 2,500 hours, and I've never had like a game-breaking bug. Right? I've had a couple things that were less than convenient, but I've never had a game-breaking bug. Like, I just don't understand. I don't get it, man. Like, yeah, there's some issues, but like I feel like a certain level of bugginess or jankiness is acceptable. It's an indie game, right? Like, the whole point is that it's meant to be like forgiven to a degree. It's an indie game. Like, you gotta approach with that understanding. It's an indie game that was made by one guy largely. Like, I don't know, people, that shit's stupid. It's just reading like things on Reddit without understanding the cause of it. It's just listening. One or two people hate on it, and then a couple people that are followers that aren't capable of generating their own opinions or thoughts on things will agree with it, and then it kind of goes from there. I don't know. Frankly, given how vibrant the modding scene is, I'm glad that the devs aren't touching it. Way better than all my mods breaking every few months. Cough, Bethesda, cough, literally. Yeah, Kenji has a more than acceptable level of jank for what you're getting. Like, it's ridiculous. Anyone else start a game with a huge pile of dead bodies in the hub? Sometimes. Sometimes. But, that's... Hooch is crazy. Hooch is crazy, I don't know. That was my first game, free loot and money. Hell yeah, dude! All the free loot. Sometimes shit just happens. It's like that's a key feature of Kenshi. Sometimes shit just happens. My foundation idea worked out so well, even though it's wild. It did. It looked really good. It looked really good. I actually plan on implementing that in like a future base build, because it looked really good. It looked really, really good. Kenshi even introduced some of its mods directly into the game. It just shows how important this community is to them. Yeah, some people are just, again, I think some people like feel themselves on getting mad about stuff. Like it's like their entire personality is just being pissed off, perpetually pissed off. It's honestly kind of a sad existence. Kind of a sad existence. I can't imagine just being mad all the time about everything. Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. My very first run was a Holy Sword run. It did not last long. My first run was a guy and his dog, and it also didn't last very long. Not long at all. Like, I think a couple of minutes at most. Wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. People just getting beat up outside? My God. Don't be mad. Get glad you've literally described Twitter. Twitter, Reddit for the most part. The only difference between like Reddit and Twitter is that Twitter is just like perpetual rage. Reddit it cycles between perpetual rage and think you knows. Not even know-it-alls, thinks you knows. Yeah. Armchair professors on Reddit and perpetual rage on Twitter. I truly hate both. I go on them because I'm you know, a content creator, and to a degree I have to have a presence on them. And I also try to look for people that need genuine help or that are interested in the things that I can say, or you know, asking about the lore, and I try to help on that aspect of things. But you know, other than that, I genuinely hate Reddit. It's fuck, man, it's a cesspool. The cesspool. Yeah, well, that's what it is. Sometimes Reddit needs blood. Twitter exists for it. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, man. Like, Twitter exists in a perpetual state of civil war. Reddit exists in a perpetual state of echo chamber, which isn't inherently bad sometimes, but it's bad like 90% of the time. Yeah, Reddit's an echo chamber. It's all circle jerk, and then Twitter is just where people go to fucking fight. Like, it's just a perpetual boxing ring. You know, awful. Yeah, the only time I ever go on Reddit is for content-related reasons, or if I'm looking up, like if I have a question about something. Our president lives on Twitter. I wish he wouldn't. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna avoid politics. Not my bag. Not my bag. I talk about Kenshi. No one wants to hear me talk about politics. I'd much rather talk about Kenshi than politics. At least Reddit openly tells you when they're bots. That's fair. That's fair. Excuse me. I think I'm going to get ready to wrap it up here soon. We're getting near a good spot, though. We're sitting at 400,000 cats. We've only got about 600,000 left. I think, reasonably speaking, we can probably, with another good hashish run to Flats Lagoon, and some more stuff here, we could probably get we get this done soon. Fun fact, there's a correct way to cite Twitter quotes in academic papers. We've come to this level of degeneracy. My God. Do you guys remember back in the day when they were told you if you used Wikipedia that your paper would automatically fail? Because I do. And now they're letting you use Twitter quotes. Sweet fucking Jesus. Sweet fucking Jesus. What are we shooting at? My God. Hello, Pato, you beautiful bastard. How are you? War leader? I'm sorry, what? Is there a tax collector out here that I'm unaware of? It's not a wild Pato. Pato's here right on schedule. He's here for our regularly scheduled programs. I'm sorry, there's a random war band here, and I don't know why they're here. I mean, it says that they're here for a tax collection, but I don't see the dude that's supposed to be collecting my taxes. So I'm a wee confused on that. I'm a wee confused. It was genuinely life-changing for me to discover that Wikipedia links all their sources. Actual game changer for working on projects. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so I think this is supposed to be the entourage for the tax collector, but I don't fucking see the tax collector, so I'm a little confused on that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm sorry. What? Nope, 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 nope. Everybody stop what you're doing. Everybody stop what you're doing. Get back in the base. Get back in the base. Get back in the base. What the fuck are you doing? Get back in the base. We are not picking a fight with the UC, guys. What the fuck? We're gonna kill these guys, and we're gonna call that. We're gonna have to put them down like dogs, like animals. Because they started a fight, but I don't really understand why they started a fight. It's fine. Wait, Jesus. Self-defense. Tax collection against the Chateau McChicken has been defeated. Don't tell me Don is going to get busted due to tax evasion. Oh my god. Am I going to go the way of Al Capone? Is that what's going to happen right now? Tax evasion enforcement. Oh god. Oh god. Hold on. I have an idea. I have an idea. It would be poetic. Yeah, if we ended up getting wiped out for tax evasion, imagine that was the end of the series. End of the series is Don, Tony McChicken, and the Nugget Mafia get wiped out for tax evasion. It's quite literally Al Capone. It's quite literally Al Capone. And so it begins. The gradual downfall of the Nugget Mafia. We were living high, guys. We were living great. All right, so Don, Tony McChicken is going to sprint over to the the capital. Where we are going to try and petition Emperor Tengu for noble status. Even the Joker doesn't mess with the IRS. Literally, dude. Literally. All right, so we're going to try and petition. We may lose 100,000 cats doing it, but we're going to try and petition for noble status. Okay, and then we won't have to pay taxes anymore. Run, Don. Run. As he moves at the speed of fucking sound. Who's your Chapo? Someone needs to be sticked in Tengu's vault. I mean, we've taken people out internally on our side before. We're gonna have to use a patsy. Someone's gonna have to be a patsy. Who's it gonna be though? Who's someone we can afford to lose? Maybe Hep. All Hep does is run to the water tower. Maybe we'll turn on Hep. It's Hep's fault. Hep's fault. Is it in vanilla or interaction added by a mod? No, this is vanilla. This is vanilla. Like that particular interaction is vanilla. If we're successful, he shall henceforth be known as Lord Don Tony McChicken. Exactly. Exactly. He's going to leverage his noble status to get away with his misdeeds. First, we have to get to the capital. Hauling ass. Don has never run so fast. Otherwise, they're going to send the tax evasion force, and I don't know if we can actually realistically fight them. Our group is not combat-oriented. We're production-focused, so our combat skills are actually kind of lacking. And I'm pretty sure the tax evasion force would rip us asunder. So if we can't get out of this, this may very well be the beginning of the end for the Nugget Mafia. Don Tony McChicken, after all of his struggles, after successfully surviving the Fogman, after losing several comrades, after being enslaved and surviving slavery, and fighting his way up to the top of running a successful restaurateur/drug dealing operation. And this would be what happens, my lord. Lord Baron Don Tony McChicken the Third and Lord Chateau, Lord of Chateau McChicken. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. All right, all right. We got to go up and talk to Tengu. Tengu, chat with me. Talk to me, Tengu. Trample some farm peasants. Outstanding. Okay, this is not, this does not bode very well for us. This does not bode very well for us. It is my understanding that I'm supposed to be able to talk to Tengu. Where is one of his guards? What is Tengu wearing on his face? That's a Tengu mask. It's a Tengu. A type of, like Japanese Oni, sky Oni. It's a Tengu. They have large noses. Save, reload, maybe. Maybe. Let me see if maybe I have to talk to somebody else first. I could have just jumped the gun and ran in a little fast. What about the UC pacifier? I mean, I'm not enemies with them right now. They're just going to send a tax evasion force to my base. I might be able to pay the tax evasion force, but it's probably going to be higher. Shit. Which it's not the end of the world, but, you know, it's not ideal here. Not ideal. Corin, diplomatic status. Hello. Okay, all right. As you can see, Lord Tengu is rather tied up right now. Yeah, Scoomer. Sai, if you have business here, you can speak with myself, Diplomat Coin. Okay. I'd like to make an alliance. Well, the United Cities is known as the land of opportunity, after all. We'll see what we can do, shall we? There are 3 ways into the United Cities. Money, influence, or force. Okay. Tell me about the money option. The simplest of the 3, a small matter of paying your way through the ranks. Sponsor a farm, gift a noble, donate to the elite samurai. We accept all payments in cats. Here's 100 grand. Samurai guard will be indebted to you, mister. Your donation will certainly be remembered. Okay. I should now be allied with the United Cities. No. Sweet fucking Jesus. Okay, yeah, they are. I'm allied with them. So is it going to call off tax evasion? There are allies now, so it should stop that. And then actually, you know what? I'm going to set myself back a little bit, but I'm going to go to Trader's Edge, and I'm going to do the same thing with the Traders Guild. It's going to set me back about 200,000 cats, which is frustrating, but ultimately, it will end up saving us a bit of a headache in the long run. And it'll stop some of the raids on the base, which will allow us to focus on the economic side of things. So Don Tony McChicken is now officially an ally of the United Cities. Had to be done. Had to be done. There was an old book called Tengu with an interesting plot. Picture an Indiana Jones style story, but it's in Japan instead of Germany, trying to do supernatural stuff, summoning Tengus. In the story, the U.S. finds out about the secret Tengu summoning temple in Hiroshima. The U.S. decides to use the only weapon that can stop them. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, sweet Jesus. The only weapon that can stop them. Technically speaking, you might be right, but my lord. Had to be done. Had to be done. Excuse me. All right, we're going to go and we're going to buy an alliance with the Traders Guild too, and then it'll keep the taxes off us. If they find your hashish, they'll send a drug bust to your base. Tax evasion squad will still come to your base, so you might want to hide that. They're not going to get into the base, though. I'm not worried about that. They're not going to get into the base. We always send someone outside the base to meet them. And then even if they do come into the base, all of our hashish is stored in the rear building, which has a secondary gate that I'll close if they come into the base, so they won't be able to get through it. So I'm not too worried about that. Okay, it's past midnight. Have a good night, folks. See you later, Logic. Thank you for popping in, as always, my friend. As always. I think once I get to the Traders Guild and I do this, I'm probably going to end up calling it myself. Yeah, I think once we get to the Traders Guild and we get the alliance set, I'm gonna call it myself. But we've made almost 500,000 cats today. Between what we spent and what we've got, we made almost 500,000 cats today, which is cool. I think within the next 2 episodes we can get the series finished up, get to our 1,000,000 cat goal, and then Don Tony McChicken will, retire into the sunset as a drug kingpin, and all will be well. Longan, where you at? Are we sleeping? Yamdu. There's 2 Yamdus over here. That's cool, I guess. Allegedly. I am fast as hell. Thanks, but no thanks. Pours a shot anyway. What's in your mind? Enlighten me. Tin Fist and his ninjas. He plagues our guild, sets our slaves loose. Industry, harvest aside. Do you know what happens to these escaped slave countrymen? No idea. See the corpses that litter their paths. They terrorize drifters. Yeah, nonsense. Nonsense. Not much of a guest, are you, countrymen? No, probably not. Yeah, guys, do remember to head over to the Tengu's Vault podcast channel. Pedastrophe and I will be doing episode 2 of Tengu's Vault on Wednesday. We'll be airing on Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, we'll be talking about the First Empire. So we're going to be streaming live, Tengu's Vault, all of that stuff. Oh, good sir, you get a discount 75,000 cats. Nice. Nice. Okay. Now we are officially allied with the slave traders. We're allied with Traders Guild. We're allied with Shinobi Thieves and the United Cities. Boom. Boom. That should help. So we're down to 237 cats. We have a bit of ground to make up for, but that should help us out quite a bit. But Don Tony McChicken has now taken a step into the legitimate. He is now taking a good step into the legitimate. Each individually sample the Traders Guild. You could probably just chuck it away, free up some storage space, but just so you know, there's a tiny chance that as soon as you do, somebody will ask you for it. Noble world problems. Yeah. So we're officially nobility now, and we're members of the Traders Guild and the United Cities, and we're allied with the Slavers Guild and all that stuff. So we should be able to operate effectively now. Hopefully the taxes are no longer an issue after this, but I think that is a good point to call it for the evening. We made significant strides tonight, almost 500,000 cats. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Okay, guys. As always, I thank you guys so much for your continued patronage. Thank you guys for stopping in, hanging out with me, chatting with me. Again, I apologize that I wasn't able to stream yesterday, and that I wasn't as bouncy and excited and jump around and all that stuff as I usually am. That I didn't have the energy that I usually do. I'm just trying to rest my throat while still making content, because I'm all about I like to provide. I like to make sure that everyone eats good. So as much content as I can pump out, always there. But yeah. So per usual, guys, I appreciate your time. Remember, use your powers for good instead of evil. Make a difference in someone's life, and don't shoot the tax collection squad, because I just had to blow 175,000 cats to deal with the fallout of that, and hopefully prevent an incident that causes me to Al Capone myself. Most unfortunate. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you again. I'll see you tomorrow.